Oh, well, you already saw the... Can you come closer so that you're in view?
Yep.
What are you guys' names?
Marcel?
Chip, nice to meet you.
I'm Edward. Yes.
Edward, nice to meet you. So where are you guys from?
I'm Polish.
Yeah?
I'm from the U.S. I'm from Boston.
Ah, okay, nice. Okay, so let me show you the question that I have, and you can tell me. It is going to go somewhere,
Okay.
so bear with me, okay? Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No.
I would think generally no, but to a degree, I guess it depends how the powerful became powerful in that sense. So is it that are they born with it? Is it people born with power should have the right to oppress those non-born with power, or is it in a sense of
Does it
everyone
matter?
born the same? I think in general, oppress no. I think generally oppression is bad. I think.
Yeah,
we
so
can
by
put
the
it
way,
at that.
just to clarify, oppression means cruel or unjust treatment
Yeah.
or exercise of authority.
So
think,
in that case, then no.
No.
I don't think.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
any
I
right.
think oppression is sort of the counterpoint to everything that makes us human. I think freedom is the most important thing we can have. So oppression, I don't think in any situation you should be able to oppress anyone
Okay.
without, punishment.
What if they're physically superior? Would that make it right to oppress somebody else?
We're not
wouldn't
wild
think so.
animals. Survival of the fittest. It's not a thing that should apply.
Okay. What if they're intellectually superior? Would oppressing somebody who's intellectually inferior make sense?
No, I mean they may have more opportunities, but that doesn't mean that they should use those opportunities to oppress someone. And if anything, they should. If someone has a gift or someone has something that makes them special, they should help those who are less opportune to do so.
Okay. What if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed?
In which case, in that case, are you saying is it okay then?
Yeah. Is it okay to oppress them if they don't realize it?
I mean, if it's only for the gain of the powerful, then I would say no.
If it's
Yeah.
only for the gain of the powerful. Okay. So if it's for the benefit of the powerful, no.
No.
No. If I can't think of an example, but if in some way it benefited everyone, I think in a vacuum, in just like a thought experiment, then sure. But I think that never will really work, and there's some moral implications to that as well.
Okay. Should we discriminate based on phenotypes?
I don't think so, no. I think I think one of the most important parts of society is that no matter where you come from, we should all strive for everybody to have equal opportunities. Equal outcomes, I don't know about that, but I think everybody should at least be able to start from the same point. And
Yeah.
I think we should invest our resources into making sure that people, have a good beginning, have a good start.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I ask these questions is it boils down to this one final question. It might, seen as how you have answered all of these questions, I've established kind of like a moral baseline with you,
Sure.
but you might be a little bit surprised about it. So bear with me,
Sure.
okay? What about animals? Do you think we're discriminating animals? Do you think we're oppressing animals?
I like, I'm quite interested in animals, so I think
Yeah.
this one's interesting. So I think the base of that question often boils down to this debate of animal consciousness.
Yeah.
Are animals conscious? Can they feel?
Yes.
And and at what point do you stop that? So there are studies that show, just birds and some primates are conscious. There are insects that there are studies that show insects can be conscious.
Yeah.
And there's also this limit. Even if there is consciousness, on a base level, we have trouble feeling empathy for creatures compared to humans. So,
Does
can
that
they be-
matter if we feel empathy or not? Isn't oppressing them still wrong, even if we
No,
cannot
I
feel
would-
empathy towards them?
So, by oppression, you mean, I mean,
Cruel or unjust
Yeah.
treatment or exercise of authority?
so would any form of farming be oppression? That's the question.
Well, I would say so. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's a difficult thing to tackle. I think in that case, yes, it does count as oppression. I mean, obviously, there's a much clearer case would be factory
How do you
farming.
see it? Do you not see it as cruel or
I
unjust?
think, a lot of agriculture and stuff is going to be cruel, but in some way, maybe this isn't, ethically good, but I prioritize humans over animals. I think in most cases, I think the life of a person is worth much more to me than an animal. So I think in the end, I would have bigger problems than worrying about animals. I think
Wait, but if I prioritize my family over you, does that mean I get to pay for somebody to exploit you or slaughter you?
no, I don't think so.
So it's not about our priorities, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
But
You're right.
I mean, I think to a degree it's difficult.
Yeah.
I think it's a difficult question to tackle because if you stripped away the moral sense of it and just left it, as an animal sense, we would of course hunt animals. Is hunting them less moral than, or less or more moral than farming? Well, you could argue because it's not strictly on a need basis, the fact that we don't need to do it could make it less moral.
Yeah.
I
So
think,
we don't need to do any of it, right?
exactly. I think to a degree it is justifiable to keep a level of farming. I think to the level of factory farming with cruel conditions is obviously not correct, especially when
Wait,
I mean,
why? What's the difference for an animal going through factory farming or going to, I don't know, whatever your other image of farming is?
free range farming, I would say, is a very good, or relatively good practice. So I would say
For who?
I think both environmentally, it's much more sound, and
That's
I
not
think,
true.
Huh?
Environmentally, factory farming is much better. Way more animals crammed into way less space. Of course, it's better.
Well, no, actually, I would argue the opposite because, first of all, I mean, in a sense, you're correct, but also the amount of waste produced by so for environmentally, for pound of pound for product, obviously factory farming is more productive. So in that sense, it is going to be more environmentally sound.
Yeah.
But factory farming allows for this density of food produced that is a huge amount of water is used, a huge amount of waste is produced.
But the same amount of water per animal is used regardless of factory farming or normal farming.
To a degree, I would think so. However, you also get this level of in field farming or free range farming. There's a sense of, instead of using large amounts of pesticides or I mean, it can be done this way, large amounts of pesticides or large amounts of control. It's more of a natural sense, and so you may have.
But still, that doesn't mean anything, right? Like, but again, I don't want to debate like the whether it's environmentally speaking or not. I'm trying to speak on behalf of animals. So I'm curious, like, do you think on behalf of an animal going through factory farming versus going through free range farming, do you think is there such a big difference?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's been proven that, like, I mean, it hasn't been proven. I don't have the
Yeah,
data.
yeah, yeah, that's
But
okay, that's okay.
going off memory, I think in factory farming there's a lot of more stress, and I think, it makes me sound like a moralist, but I think a good person should try to shouldn't try to be cruel, and I think we should, in the end, try to reduce the overall cruelty and how much like unhappiness we put it on animals and on people both.
Should that imply that you have a moral obligation to go vegan then, to not exploit any animals because
No.
you can?
I mean, I respect everyone who goes vegan. I'm not vegan.
So why not? Wait, why not? Because according to what you just said, is that somebody has the moral obligation to do what is the absolute best for the animals, right? And in that scenario, it would mean that you would have to go vegan because that's something you can do. You could thrive on it. So why not do it?
Because I'm selfish. Because I enjoy eating.
And is
bacon.
that a good enough moral justification?
Probably not. But I'm here on this earth for what, 80 years, and I think on some level, because I'm selfish and everybody's selfish, I prefer not going vegan because it's more comfortable for me. I prefer the taste of meat.
So you do like discriminating based on phenotypes as long as you get benefit from it.
I think that's quite a leap to do. I think that's kind of summarizing a point in a very bald face value to push an agenda. Not that the agenda is wrong, but I think.
What agenda is that?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing that you're very strongly pushing for
Animal rights.
yes.
Yes.
And to a degree I do agree with it, but I think it's
Do you think animals don't deserve the right to live free or free of exploitation, of human exploitation?
I think it's a tough thing to do. I think 100% animals shouldn't be in very, very terrible conditions, such as with factory farming or things such as that. But I think
But as long as if you give them a little bit of space, exploiting them is all good.
It's not all good, but it's better than not giving them any space at all. We have
Sure.
to-
I mean,
there's-
if
and
I were
there's-
to make a reference, if somebody beats you like with a lead pipe and then they switch to a twig, it is better, but it's still somebody beating you. It's still
True,
it's
but
still immoral.
I think there's a level of I think humans are very good at moral dissonance. We're able to separate ourselves from the idea of the suffering that goes
Yeah.
into the product. So, and in that degree, I don't think I also eat meat. I do understand what goes into it, and I do try and eat less meat when possible, and things like that. But I think it is.
So wait, why do you try and eat less meat? It sounds like you shouldn't. Based on what you're saying, is that do you think there's like some moral issue? Why are you trying to eat less meat? I don't understand that.
So ideally, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it is in any form. If you are doing, if you say an animal is conscious and you're doing these things and harvesting, that obviously is wrong and it sounds wrong. But I think there's a balance between selfishness and the balance between that. And each person can find it. And whether it's wrong or not, I think
Isn't
people
it
tend to do
selfish at any point to take somebody's life? I'm sorry for interrupting you there, but isn't it selfish to bring somebody to life for the sole purpose of killing them for something that you don't actually need?
Yeah, no, it is selfish. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Any animal product is then selfish, isn't it?
Yes.
To a
just-
degree, yeah, but I mean, I don't think.
we all have to be selfish sometimes.
I think at some point there's a balance of selfishness, and I think.
Well, there's no balance of selfishness when it comes to victims, right? Like I shouldn't put my own interest above others' interest when I can choose otherwise, just because I get some form of pleasure from it, or just because I'm lazy, or just because I make all of these claims that I only have one life. You only have one life. Should you kill and eat humans? Should
I
you
know,
eat and kill
because humans
dogs?
aren't animals.
And
I
I
just-
also,
We are animals, yes.
Yeah, I
But-
mean they are animals, but in my mind we exist in a different category than, for example, farm animals or something.
But let me
like that.
pose this hypothetical scenario. I'm sorry. Like, if there was an individual in a box, and you don't know anything about them, you don't know what species they are, you can ask what characteristics they have. How would you define whether you can exploit them or not?
I think I don't know how you define whether exploitation. I think that's difficult.
Like, what characteristics would they need to have or not have in order to be exploitable for you?
So as in farmable, you mean?
Farmable, yeah. Farmable,
Sure.
exploitable.
I don't know. I think that's a tough question. I think if today there wasn't as much of a cultural significance of eating meat and that wouldn't have been developed, I think it would be much harder to get it rolling.
Yeah.
And I think where our sort of disagreement lies is what you said. Your very first question was, is it right? And that was a very hypothetical thing. And I agree with you that, you know, on a conscious realm, yeah, it's not right for oppression to humans, same as it's not right for the powerful to oppress animals.
Yeah.
But in both senses, I think it's just as it is in a world today on an animal level or for like, for instance, like a social level. The powerful, it's very hard to get rid of any level of oppression, no matter what political system you do or what social system you
But
do.
there is a difference, right? Because I understand what you mean. There are indeed systems that contain oppression, and for those, you're right, it is difficult to get rid of. And those don't, I would say the blame doesn't fall on the consumer for those systems, right? But rather the governments where those, like you would say child labor, right? Child labor is not your fault for that there is child labor, but rather the fact that there's governments who support that, who don't forbid it. But animal agriculture is not a system that contains exploitation. It's a system that inherently depends on exploitation. It's a system where the blame does fall on the consumer, because if the consumer stops buying it, then the industry shrinks. The industry can never change to be better. This industry can never be without exploiting animals. Animal agriculture will always exploit animals. So the only way to make it better is to totally refuse it, to totally reject it. So systems that contain exploitations need approval. Systems that depend on exploitation need rejecting.
I agree.
I mean,
But I think the system that you're talking about, animal exploitation,
Yeah.
on the levels of oppression, I would consider that lower than, for example, oppression against people. And we can't solve every issue at once. I'm going to prioritize.
Lower in what way? Because I would argue that no human being has ever been oppressed, even in how an animal has been oppressed, even on the best of farms. Has any human being been brought to life for the sole purpose of being exploited, and when they can no longer be exploited, they just get killed?
My example would be slavery.
yeah, I think slavery.
Child of slaves.
Yeah.
But,
So.
I
Is
think-
that something? I would argue it's even a little bit worse than slaves, because at least slaves had some form of I don't know. They just had their freedom taken away from them, and they were forced to do certain things. But animals don't have any body autonomy. Slaves at least had some sheer body autonomy. Animals have zero.
That's an interesting comparison to make. I don't know about it fully, but I also think it's. I think the main problem here in animal versus man is that, I mean, on a very basic level, we tend to favor our own species, and I think whether you may think, you know, all is equal, I think the vast majority of people will not do that. And another thing of you saying it falls into the hands of the consumer. While I agree to an extent that is true, there is also, you know, a level of, I mean, we're a very, I think, to push my to push my beliefs a little bit, I think that we live in a society that's very that's very company controlled or very company influenced. So even if I understand that if consumers stop buying the product would no longer be powerful. But there's a huge amount of, you know, of messaging that goes into that, and that, you know, people are brought up on the idea that we should eat meat. And there's there's a level of, you know, veganism. Veganism is like a weak thing to do. Is a belief that's, I think, pretty rife.
But
And
none
I'm
of
not-
this matters, right? Because at the end of the day, you acknowledge that it's wrong to do this to animals,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
And you acknowledge that you are supporting it, right? The difference with every other thing, regardless of whether that system needs rejection or not, right? You can see it as a system. But the difference between other systems and this one, there's another difference. Aside from the dependence on exploitation, is the fact that this system, you can choose to not participate in it. You can choose to not be part of it and still live your life healthily, happily, and just like you did before. The only, like, you see what I mean? Like, they're like, if you were to choose, if you had to choose between a phone that exploits humans or a phone that doesn't exploit humans, why would you ever choose a phone that exploits humans? It's the same. If you had to choose between food that exploits animals and food that doesn't, why would you ever choose food that exploits animals?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a confrontation we have to do every day with ourselves. Why don't we just go vegan? And I
Yeah.
think your point is very valid. And I don't know. We live in a context where I was brought up on not being vegan, and you know the change could be easy. I could just stop buying meat.
But so was I. Does that imply, like, you're adults, right? We can't just blame everything on our upbringing or what our parents said, right?
No, I'm
mean,
not
we
saying I'm
have-
not blaming it on
Yeah.
on the upbringing. I'm just saying the choice is there. I don't take that
Yeah.
choice. I have to live with that choice, and you know I'm being confronted about it right now. I mean,
Yeah, but don't you
after
think it's a
today-
moral obligation to take that choice going forward? I don't care what happened in the past, but
Yeah.
going forward, don't you think it's a moral obligation to take that choice so that no more animals are exploited for you?
I'm not sure. I would think ideally yes, but if I'm being honest with myself, I think I'm more, again, with the moral dissonance. I'm not able. Every time I take a bite of meat, I'm not faced with the conscious feeling of all the animal suffering, and so I think realistically, I won't be able to. I will not make that decision, and
So in other words, if you don't see it, you don't care about it.
I think it makes it much tougher to care. I mean, similarly with global warming, for example, people
But-
have a large trouble with that.
But again, like, it's a difference between global warming, because global warming, like, you can, like, it's one of those things where, kind of regardless of what you do, you are going to participate in global warming or not. Whereas this one, it's pretty
simple choice,
simple
yeah.
choice.
I mean,
Yeah.
At what point would you say that it doesn't count as exploitation for you to eat meat? Is any consumption of meat, or if you hunt it yourself free range, is that okay?
Well, I would
you say?
argue that like, hunting is also exploitative, right? Because at the end of the day, if you have other choices, why would you ever choose to take the life of an innocent animal? If you find if you accidentally run over an animal and you want to eat them, I would argue there's nothing theoretically wrong with it, right? You're not creating more demand or more exploitation of it, but you are still perpetuating a stereotype that it's okay to eat animals, right? So I wouldn't be sitting here if you guys would, like, if you both of you would just say, well, I only eat roadkill. I wouldn't be,
No, I
you know, I would
I
tell you,
understand.
like, hey, okay, whatever. At least you're not creating more exploitation,
No,
right?
I-
The point is to
yeah.
not more animals to not be exploited or slaughtered for you.
no. I mean, I understand your point, but I think, I mean, we are at this point a little bit going in circles, and so
Yeah.
I understand and respect your point, but I don't think it's a change I would make myself, for honestly selfish reasons. And maybe my views will change. I'm quite young in that
Yeah.
sense, so maybe I will grow wiser in that sense. But for now, I think that's a selfish decision that I make.
Yeah.
So this is I make as well. And after after this conversation, I'll put more thought to it. I thought about it before, so I think it's an important decision everybody should make. But
Let
in
me
the end,
let me just. I think it's a lot of because of social acceptance. Let me just give you a card before you go. I think you're right. There is some form of social acceptance that it's okay to do this to them, but reality is it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And if you realize that it shouldn't be, then you're just left with this point in time and realizing that, well, wait, if I was born during slavery times, it was socially acceptable for me to have a slave. Would I have challenged that, or would I have been the one who would have had the slaves because it was convenient and easy for me? So if you think no, I would have challenged it, then why aren't you challenging this one?
I mean,
It's the same thing, right? Like, it's socially acceptable, but what? You should
Yeah.
challenge it.
I mean, I think that's a good point, and I mean, that is, yeah, that's a very good point, and I think it's something I will think about. Will it be enough to change my mind? I don't know. But it's a good.
Do I
thing to
give you
think
one
about.
card or 2 cards?
Probably two.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Let me just tell you real quick.
Yeah.
Scan this QR code
Uh-huh.
here and watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. You'll enjoy it, or Dominion, which shows you exactly what
Sure.
animals go through. Okay?
Yeah.
Great.
And you have other resources to help you out on your way.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Cheers. Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one.
And don't just reflect. Look at it and make changes. Okay? Hello, everyone. We started. Yes, we started a little bit late. I'm sorry for being a little bit late, a couple of minutes late, but that's okay. That's okay. We started. It is extremely nice weather today, and we're going to be having some good conversations today, hopefully. We're going to be trying to change some minds. Hey, the vegan plant. Nice to see you here. Jake Lagatare. Yeah, I saw Martin was here. Yeah, hi Martin, nice to see you. There you go. I already predicted. I think Martin, you have this green icon and the blue text. And as I look, sometimes I take a look at to make sure that the phone is okay. And as I see this green icon and the blue text, and I'm like, oh, I know that. That's Martin. The same way I know the vegan plant, because they have that yellow. I don't even know what that is in the thumbnail. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, I've been, to be honest, you know, if you think I do good in these kind of, I don't know, they're not necessarily debates, but rather conversations that I have with people. The reason why I am doing good or trying to do good is because I actually train for it. You know, when I get home, oh, it's a flower, nice. Well, when I get home, a lot of the times I either talk to ChatGPT to help me refine some of my arguments, or I try to learn new things about it, or I listen to debates, or, you know, I try to, at the end of the day, I think getting better at it is helping me, like, have conversations with people about both veganism and anything else. So, yeah. Tyann says no one important is vegan. Who cares? There's a lot of important people that are vegan, but why would that even matter? Is that how you derive your morals? If everybody who's important would be racist, would you also be racist? Because you would say, well, nobody who's important is not racist. Is that really how we want to justify our values? Is that really how we define how we live our life? What is right or wrong? Are you looking for the God? No, I am not looking for any God. Which God, by the way? The flying spaghetti monster? The guy with a lot of heads? The woman? The trans woman? Which God are you talking about? I'm okay with either. I just don't believe in any. Ask the next person you speak to if they seen an animal being slaughtered across the road from them. Would it make them hungry, or would they want it to stop? That's a good one. Bob C says, nice lipstick. It's my natural lips, man. But thank you for... I guess they do look lipstickish in the video as I see it now. Yeah, and by the way, I forgot to give the shout out to Dracolomb and Lewis. I forgot to give it yesterday. We like to give shout outs to whoever comments first, and I think Dracolomb and Lewis have been the ones who comment first. In fact, you know what? Dracolomb and Lewis are usually the ones who comment first. Dracolomb, Lewis, and Martin. You guys are always commenting first, and I appreciate it because, I don't know, I just like refreshing and see 1 or 2 comments there from you, and it's... You guys want to try a social experiment? Yeah. We're gonna have, let's see, oh, we have quite some people, 165. I want to get to more people watching at the same time, okay? So I'm gonna do this more often. Hopefully YouTube will push it further ahead. I just gotta get there to I want to get to bigger numbers because I want more people to see these messages. I want more people to see these conversations. I want more people to think. We need to stop this animal exploitation. You guys want to try a social experiment? And hit the like, says Nana Blue. Thank you, Nana Blue. Thank you for being here also. If you don't know or see the being, what aspects would convince you to make it morally okay to kill those beings? Oh, that's a good one. If you don't know or see the being, what aspects would convince you it's morally okay to kill those beings? That's a very good question. And that is a very good question. I'll see how I can how it finds its way in my head, but I understand what you mean, and that's a very good question. Thank you. I am now in Amsterdam, Lika. So yeah, Amir says their body is different. Yeah, Amir. So do you think we should discriminate based on phenotypes? That's essentially the question that I asked in the poll. Do you think we should exploit somebody based on different phenotypes? I see no answer. Hey, Jason Archer. Can you speak Dutch? Een beetje. Mijn Nederlands is niet zo goed. Maar ik verstand meer. There you go. Do donations help you do this more often? They certainly do, yeah. He is jacked, but he definitely has to put more time to get his daily protein. I don't have to put in more time to get my daily protein at all. What are you talking about? In fact, you know what? I would argue I started weightlifting before I went vegan. I can tell you that most of the muscles that I built was during my vegan phase, but that's solely because somewhere late as I was, because actually I started lifting because I was vegetarian, really, not even eating animal product, not even eating meat. So I will tell you that the only time when I started growing the fastest was when I focused on protein intake, whether that was, hey, you want to try a social experiment?
I saw that on Facebook.
Okay. Somebody saw it on Facebook, apparently. So whether that is, I focused on protein, so whether that was animal origin protein or plant-based protein, it didn't matter. It doesn't, because that's just reality. It doesn't. You can get all the absolutely all the macronutrients that you need from plants and plant-based products, all the essential amino acids, all the vitamins that you need, and whatever you cannot get as vitamins, you can supplement. And I know some people are afraid of supplementation, but don't be afraid. You know what? Don't. In fact, I'm the type of person who's like who uses supplementation also to test on myself. You know, so you should do that. Well, not like necessarily what I do, but I can tell you for a fact that if you need to supplement, you should supplement, and it means nothing. And in fact, the only vitamin that you definitely need to supplement is B12. And you'd be surprised to find out that because of the way we messed up the ground these days, B12 isn't really something that animals anyway get that much anymore. So it's something that you would have to supplement anyway. So yeah, B12, I would argue probably everybody on this planet should start supplementing B12. Well, or food should be reinforced with it. Already farms are using B12 supplements for their animals, so doesn't really matter, right? Oh my God, 10 pounds. JD, thank you so much. That wasn't an invitation, JD, for you to donate, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Cheap Films says, I'm having a steak soon. Cheap Films, I hope it's a vegan steak, because otherwise an innocent sentient animal will be exploited for you. You want to try a social experiment? How long have you been vegan? For 3 years now. And then 7 vegetarian before that. I woke up after a while and I learned about the horrible cruelness of dairy cows, and then I couldn't morally justify it, so I became vegan. Yeah. Daily NMD says, I love cheeseburgers. Well, what about the innocent animals that are exploited and killed for you, Daily NMD? Do you love that? Okay, we're gonna give it 10 minutes. Let's see how many people stop in 10 minutes, and if not, we'll move. I feel like yesterday not enough people stopped. Well, at the beginning they did, but then at some point not anymore. So maybe it's there's a certain flow of people. I don't know. But it is sunny, as you can see. I did not wear sunscreen, so I should have worn sunscreen today. Diminson Sam says meat is awesome. Yeah, for the people who use it to power their, mobility because it's muscles. Hi.
Hello.
Are you okay being live
Can
from my
she-
YouTube channel?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she can do it, of course. Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Shalem.
Shalem.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Shalem.
What's your name?
I'm Chip. Where are you from?
I'm from Israel,
Israel. Okay,
actually.
nice.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
Of course not.
Okay. What if they are, and by the way, let me clarify. Oppression means cruel or unjust treatment or exercise of authority, okay? What if the powerful are physically superior? Would that justify oppressing?
No.
What if they're intellectually superior? Would that justify oppressing?
No.
Okay. What if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed?
No.
No, okay. And what if, should we discriminate based on phenotypes?
Based of phenotypes? What do you mean by that?
Like, should we decide whether to oppress somebody or not based on phenotypes?
Alternative or biology.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
No, okay. Okay, so like phenotypes are physical or
Yeah.
behavioral traits of an individual. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no. Or morphological, there's other ways as well. Okay, okay. So the reason why I ask these questions is because I'm trying to establish kind of like a moral baseline, right? And based on what you've said so far, it's wrong to exploit them. It's wrong to exploit somebody based on phenotype, whether they realize it or not, and regardless if you have power or what type of power you have over them. Okay, so how do you feel about the animals? Do you think we're oppressing animals?
She is agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she tried to make me like not eat animals, which is sucks, you know. But maybe it's the right thing. I don't know. Like
Why does it suck?
she's a vegan for 3.5 years. Good for
Nice.
you, ba.
Yeah. What does it mean to you to be vegan?
What does it mean to me? Like to choose to live like according to some איך אומרים ערכים?
Values.
To some higher values. I don't know, like to try and make my values better and to live by them, not just like telling stories and like say propaganda stuff. Just live by my values. No,
Yeah.
it's kind of religion, you know.
I feel like you kind of touched upon some things. No, it's not like religion. Like veganism, it's literally a moral principle of saying that animals should not be exploited for us. Do you agree that?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then theoretically your values are there, right? So as a vegan, you should also be following through with that, because if I say that I respect women, but then I go around beating women, do I really respect women?
No.
So if you say that you're against the exploitation of animals, are you really against the exploitation of animals if you pay for animals to be exploited for you?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, okay. So what happened in the past is happened in the past. But going forward, what do you want to do? Do you want to exploit animals? Do you want to continue supporting animal exploitation?
I don't know. According to my religion, which is Judaism,
Yeah.
like there's some kind of prophet or something that in the Messiah days, like people won't eat animals at all, and I think it actually will come with the technology, with like I don't know if the Netherlands are doing it, but some countries are like printing meat with from cells. I think the change is gonna come from that.
So do you want to wait for that?
I think that's the solution. Yeah. Like
So how many more animals should be exploited for you before you make a change?
before I make a change.
Yeah.
No, I made the change. Like she made me do it.
But it seems like you didn't.
I'm not eating animals.
Are you vegan now?
Yeah,
You're vegan? Oh, okay, okay. So you don't consume any animal product, but you don't do it for her, right?
I'm doing it for her.
You're doing it for her, yeah.
And
so
for her mother, I'm afraid from Her mother is very scary. So
Okay. I guess I mean that's a thing, but I don't know. Like I'm just trying to understand. Like let's imagine that she wouldn't be there to tell you to be vegan. Like, is there any reason why you would think that it's okay to exploit animals?
I mean, like, no, like, because in Hebrew there's a sentence called "bli kavana ba kavana." Okay, like at the beginning there is no like, איך אומרים כוונה בר?
Mean.
There's no mean for what you do. Like you do it for something like a treat or something, like for a girl. And after you are doing it for a while, does come the mean to it.
Okay.
Like you should do before you mean.
But it sounds to
to
me
do
like
it.
your values are already there, aren't they? Because your values already say it's wrong to exploit animals.
I think so.
So
yeah.
then, if she weren't there, like like, what is it exactly that there seems to be? She seems to hold you in this position, but if she wasn't there to hold you in this position, what exactly would be your justification for paying for animal products or paying for animal exploitation, seeing as your values say that it's wrong to do it anyway?
I don't know, like just enjoying the meat and enjoying the food.
Yeah, but is that really a good enough justification?
No, it's not
Right. Does
good enough
the
justification.
sensory pleasure really dictate, like whether
It's
it's
like
okay?
it's the pleasure that that gets over the values, and that's a sad thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think most of the people like right now in the Eastern world are eating animals despite they're not really, I don't know, believe in that or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
that's
thanks,
a sad
man.
reality everywhere. Okay,
I-
well, thank you
I
for
have
having
to
this
go.
conversation. That's okay. Let me just give you a card before you go. You also have my YouTube channel there, and I urge you to watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. You'll enjoy it, okay?
Okay,
Cheers.
thank you.
Thank you.
Nice for being vegan. Have a good one. There you go. Vegan girls will turn guys vegan. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should I should be a vegan girl from now on, and I should transform guys. I wonder if vegan guys transform girls to being vegan. That's an interesting thing. No injustice lasts forever, says vegan girls are the best. Hey Draculum, nice to see you here. I gave you a shout out for being one of the first to comment. That was awesome. I would be vegan if the food was nice. Exzat. The food is nice, and how does that morally justify any of it, huh? Do you think it's okay to exploit somebody just because you may not like the taste of their flesh, or because you like the taste of their flesh more than you like the alternative? Is that really what your values say it's okay to do? That as long as you get some pleasure from it, then exploitation is all well deserved? Animal is not somebody, it's animal. Yeah. Well, humans are animals too. There's definitely a somebody. It's pretty easy to define. How would you define a somebody? Do you think a somebody is somebody that do they necessarily have to have the species human? Okay, so for you, somebody is strictly human. I see. It's kind of an insane position to take because that means nothing. Somebody being human or not means nothing. So what if I weren't human? What if you were to find out that I'm actually I'm not Homo sapiens sapiens, but I'm more in line with Homo sapiens Neanderthales or something like that? Would that morally justify you exploiting me because I'm not human? No, because that's a human. No, it's not. It's not. It's a different species. It's not human. It's a humanoid species, but it's not human. I'm not degrading myself, calling myself an animal. You know, actually, with all the corruption, hunger, and wars in the world right now, debating about food is stupid. Oh, Amir, look at that. You found the way out, huh? You found the way out to dodge your responsibility. So why don't you just for the rest of your life, the rest of your day, care about all the wars and all the things that are wrong in the world. You can even fight for them. And when you make decisions for your food, why don't you make the right decision and stop exploiting animals? Why is it that you think that you need extra effort? Do you think I'm advocating here for you to go and speak up on behalf of animals? Because I'm not. What I'm advocating here is that you do the bare minimum and not pay against not pay against them, not pay for them to be exploited. That's all I'm saying. That is a bare minimum you can do, isn't it? It's pretty easy. You just have to make a different choice. No, it's pretty warm outside. It's like 14 degrees, I think, or something like that. Plus, I would argue that, you know what? Thinking that you can exploit somebody strictly because of different phenotypes than yourself is a pretty fucking good representation of what we do in today's world, really, of what the problem is in today's world. Isn't it? Hey, see you, Latva. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. What about something lab-grown meat? I don't care. As long as it doesn't exploit animals, that's okay. I think Neanderthals has good regulations on animal cruelty. Netherlands has good regulations on animal cruelty. Do you think bringing somebody to life for the sole purpose of exploiting and slaughtering them is not cruel? Would you consider it cruel if your mother would come to you and say, I don't know how old you are, but imagine that you reach the age of 20 and then your mother comes with a knife at you and says, hey, surprise, you were actually born to be killed. That's it. That's your whole purpose in life. Would that be fair to do to you? Answer somebody who respectfully disagrees with you. I don't know. Did Amir not respectfully disagree with me? I did not read though. You want to try a social experiment? Yeah, I'll just focus on the people on the street. I feel like some of you in the chat don't really want to be intellectually honest. And if you don't want to be intellectually honest, then that perhaps is not the best way to do it. Because it's pretty easy, right? Like what I told the first guys that I spoke to, ask yourself this. If you had an individual placed in a box, you couldn't know what species they are, but you could ask any question about their phenotypes or traits or characteristics that they have. Would you choose to exploit them? And how would you know the difference, whether you choose to exploit them or not? You could ask, well, does this individual have 2 legs? Yes. Does this individual have 2 arms? Yes. Does this individual walk on 2 legs, jump on 2 legs, all of this kind of stuff? Does any of that matter to you? Do you think any of those are good enough justifications to exploit somebody? I don't even know if you know what I mean right now. I have a question, says Jessica. Go on, Jessica. Let's say we stop killing all animals. Where would they go? Like, they would overpopulate us, causing car wrecks and chaos. I hope you read this, because I'm serious, says Tax Betterman. Well, okay, Tax Betterman, I can answer you that question pretty easily. First of all, the world wouldn't go vegan overnight. That wouldn't happen. And if that were to happen, well, it would be a problem that would need fixing. Just like animal agriculture is a problem now that needs fixing. So what would happen is that if it were to happen overnight, I don't have a solution for it, but I don't know, move animals to sanctuaries, create a finance plan where how to maintain them, all this kind of stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, we brought him to life. If it doesn't, like realistically speaking, if the whole world were to go vegan, it would happen gradually, and thus gradually less animals would be brought into existence until we reach basically a critical mass when then we acknowledge that the world is almost vegan, and then yes, some animals will remain, but those will be so few animals that we could easily, I don't know, place them in a sanctuary or something. Oh, brother. I wonder if any of the other people in this chat actually care about animals, because that's why I'm here. I'm here defending animals. And to be honest, you don't even have to care about them. You just have to acknowledge that it's unfair what we do to them. That's it. That's it. If you think that it's unfair what we do to them, how can you morally justify you causing unfairness towards them when you can choose otherwise? If animals eat each other, why can't we? Well, imagine animals also rape each other. Imagine saying if animals rape each other, why can't we? Does that answer your question already? Just because an animal does it doesn't mean it's right to do so, isn't it? And like and subscribe, everyone. Thank you, the vegan plant. I appreciate you for being there. You always say that. DC, do you need grape to live? Well, do you need animal products to live? No. There you go. You don't need grape, you don't need animal products. Same argument, same thing. You guys want to try a social experiment? Okay. How do you get enough protein? You want to try a social experiment? It's pretty easy to get enough protein. You just, eat enough protein. You eat enough sources of protein. There's plenty of sources for protein. I find it so insane to me that people think that animal products are the only source of protein. In fact, that's probably one of the biggest marketing thing that animal agriculture has done to us, thinking that animal products are high in protein. Some are, sure, but most are high in protein and high in fat, thus not making them a viable source of protein, because you know what? Viable source of protein is one that you have a lot of protein per calories. And tofu, tempeh, seitan, those are freaking high in protein. Hell, soy chunks, I think they're 50% protein, 50% protein. Beans, lentils. Beans and lentils are not the best source of protein, but they're a good one. Hey Benji, nice to see you here. God, sitting in the sun dehydrates me. I think we might need to move at some point because nobody's stopping, huh? Let's give it 5 more minutes. Oh, damn battery issues. Sorry, everybody. Can you guys still hear me okay? James, your daughter just said go Chip. Hell yeah. Go your daughter. Go James. You want to try a social experiment? Sound is clear. Okay, thank you. You want to try a social experiment?
Next time, thank you.
Next time, okay. Mike G says your daughter loves Chip. Okay. Cute. Interesting, Mike G. I hope your daughter is also vegan, right? I don't know. I just ask curiously. Curious because when people have children, I spoke to I forgot her name. I always forget her name. And she was born vegan. There's an influencer who says she was born vegan, and we were talking about interesting things that um, as a non-vegan you can't really relate to, right? As a non-vegan, every time you think you have an issue, like health-wise, sorry, as a vegan who was non-vegan, that's what I meant. As a vegan who was non-vegan at some point in their life, whenever you have a health issue, you ask yourself, is it because I'm vegan or something? You know, because we've all been just as brainwashed by this dumbass propaganda. And you'd be surprised to find out that she never questioned it. She never asked herself, is it because of this, when she had a health issue. She's very healthy. Her name is Serena, I think. Serena, yeah, I just remembered it. So I'm just saying, like, the sheer fact that, I'm sorry, my mind is go all over the place today. I started from your daughter being vegan. So the reason why I ask is because as a former non-vegan, actual vegan right now, I can say that I've seen people being concerned about raising their kids vegan, and they shouldn't be, because you can definitely thrive on it. And even as a certified nutritionist, I can tell you I have, like, I think 2 chapters were specific for children, and there's no issues there. There's absolutely no issues. You just gotta supplement some things here and there. But as they were saying it, they were also saying it that you should supplement those things anyway, because you shouldn't be feeding your child too much meat. It's not very healthy. You shouldn't be like I don't know. It's just the way I see it, you know, like, supplementation will inherently be part of our society, whether that's through fortified foods or us taking the supplements ourselves. It will always be part of our society. So just accept it and stop thinking that it's bad or something. It's not. And if you say it's expensive, go to Lidl. They have plenty of supplements, Lidl, and they're not expensive. Comparing animals eating other animals to animals graping animals is terrible analogy. Well, you say that we should be allowed. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
Yeah, let's do it. What are you doing?
Are you okay to be live on my YouTube channel?
What's up?
What's your name?
Roger.
Nice to meet you, Roger. I'm Chip. Where are you from?
Toronto.
Toronto, nice. Oh, nice. I've been to Toronto just a while ago, and I loved it. Okay, here it is. Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
No. Even if they benefit from it?
No.
Even if it's so pleasurable for them that it's maybe difficult to stop?
Depends on the person, I guess, right?
Right. But do you think it would be moral for them to oppress somebody?
No, oppression should be. It's wrong in all cases. Doesn't matter.
Okay. What if they're physically stronger? Would that make oppression okay?
No.
What if they're intellectually stronger? Would that make oppression okay?
No.
Okay. And what if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed? Would that make oppressing them okay?
No, because they don't know what's happening, right?
Yeah. So it would still be wrong to oppress them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So all of these questions boil down to my final question. What about animals? Do you think we're oppressing them when we're forcing them into slaughterhouses for optional products?
It depends on which way you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Some animals are born and bred to be eaten, right?
Is that not oppressive to bring somebody to existence for the sole purpose of killing them for optional products?
I guess people don't really care because they can't talk, right? They can't communicate. They're just
So that's why I asked if they don't realize that they're oppressed. Does that make oppression okay?
no.
No. So how does that not apply to animals also?
I'm not sure. I didn't really think about it until you asked me that question.
Yeah.
It's not something that I woke up and I said, "Hey, our animals being oppressed today."
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to challenge your thinking, right? So, oppression, by the way, means cruel or unjust treatment, right?
Right.
Or exercise of authority. Is that not exactly what we do to animals?
Yes. Now that I think about it, yes.
Yeah. We're cruel. We're unjust. It's unfair towards them to bring them to life just to kill them, right?
Yes.
So, do you think you can be against oppression while simultaneously supporting it, paying for oppression?
I guess yes.
Is that not a contradiction?
Kind of.
Yeah. Especially given that you have other options, right? So you don't need to pay for oppression.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you want to do? How do you want to leverage this contradiction within yourself? Do you want to say that you are now supporting oppression, or do you want to go vegan and not support oppression?
I'm not sure. I have to think about that.
Is there something to think about? Do you think you might want to support oppression?
Yes.
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 Why is that?
Well, because you make a good point, valid point, right? But
Yeah.
yes. I'm just gonna go with yes.
You're gonna go with
Yeah, I'm
yes.
just gonna
You're
go
gonna
with
go with yes. If you might want to support oppression.
Well, like some things are so tasty though, right? But
So if it gives you pleasure, sensory pleasure like taste, it makes it justified.
help me answer this question. The question is oppression. Yes. Chip, yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't know. Yes, what? That's what usually happens when they realize that they don't really have an argument. I don't know. Maybe today it is a little bit of more of a debatey type, I guess. I don't know. It depends on the person also who's sitting in front of me. But yeah, Windows error. We're gonna start as Windows error. That's a brilliant way of putting it. That's so funny. Windows error. Good one. See, saying yes, it's worth it. I don't think anybody would say yes, it's worth it. I believe animal living conditions should be. Wait. Animal living conditions should be improved, but I'm still eating meat. Wait, Saminus Prime. Why do you care about animal living conditions being improved? Why would that matter?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you okay? Do you want to do the social experiment?
Yes.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yes.
Can you come closer so that you're in view?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How old are you guys?
I am 12.
Yes, me too.
Okay. I'll ask you this then. Animal abuse should be legal. Do you agree?
What is abuse?
Ja, dat ze worden, dat ze zeg maar worden pijn gedaan en zo.
Oh, no.
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 Why not?
Oh, illegal. Hè?
Should be legal.
Legal
Dat het mag, dat het mag.
No.
Why not?
Dat is toch slecht?
She means that it is not good for the animals
Yes.
and that it's not good.
Yes.
So if it's not good for the animals, it's wrong to do it to them, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What about animal agriculture? Do you think it's good for the animals?
Wat vind jij?
Wat is animal culture?
Like farming animals, animal agriculture.
Oh, dat je zeg maar zulke puppies maakt en zo. En dat je zegt.
If it's necessary, maybe yes, but
So since it's not necessary, how is it okay?
Zeg dat het dan niet oké is.
then it's not okay.
Okay. Okay, so but let me ask you because obviously like it's not a gotcha moment or anything, right? Reality is I'm here to speak on behalf of animals. I'm trying to speak for their rights. And how would you like let me ask you do you consume animal products?
No.
No? Are you vegan?
No.
No, so you consume animal products then.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Do you consume animal products?
Wacht. Yes.
Okay. So what is it like you eat chickens, let's say?
Yes.
Would you eat a dog?
No.
No.
Why not?
Because it's
I
a
have.
pet.
Yes.
What if
because,
it's not a pet? What if it was bred specifically to be killed for you?
Then yes, I think yes.
Then you would eat the dog?
Well, if a dog was like a chicken, then I would eat it. But
In the sense that it's bred specifically to be killed for you.
Yes. So but I have a dog as like a pet, and it's not really normal to eat a dog like nowadays. So I don't think so. I would eat a dog now, but if it was normal to eat a dog and it wasn't my pet, then I would eat the
But
dog.
not if it were normal or something, but asking you in today's society and where you live right now, if let's assume that the only meat you find in supermarkets it's dog meat, would you buy that? Would you eat
No.
that?
No,
No.
Why not?
because I have a dog as a pet, and it's just.
Do you have a dog?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, how about a cat? Do you have a cat?
Yes.
She also has a cat.
Do you have
I
a
don't
cat?
have a cat.
Okay, would you eat a cat?
No.
Okay, why not?
Because she has a cat.
Yes.
Is it just because you have them? Well, what does it
No.
matter?
Yes,
It wouldn't be
just also
those
fair.
individuals.
A
would
lot
it?
of people like love their cats or
Oh, dit is wel eens
dogs.
gelijk.
But what about from their perspective? Do you think there's any difference from the perspective of a dog or a chicken or a cow?
No.
No.
Nee.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So do you think there is a difference?
Nee, there's no difference from a cat, a dog, and a chicken, right?
No,
Nee,
but it
toch?
just feels weird to eat a dog, and
Yes.
it just doesn't.
Why doesn't it feel weird to eat a chicken, huh?
Because I.
Because somebody told you that it's okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But if nobody would tell you that it's okay, it should have been just as weird.
Yes,
Yes.
but when I'm in a restaurant, I see chicken on the menu, but I don't see dog on the menu.
Yeah,
Yes.
because a lot of people a lot of people have decided that we're gonna kill these beings.
Yes.
But do you think that's okay for these beings to do?
No.
No.
No. So if we have other options, why would we choose to kill these beings?
I don't know.
I really
Right?
don't know, but
Because we
maybe
can
the
always
meat,
choose.
maybe the meat from the dog isn't nice. It doesn't taste nice.
Let's assume it is.
Oh, in
Let's assume
China
it
they
is.
eat dogs.
Not everywhere, no, in some region, and they barely eat. But even if they do, like again, it's not about that. And so, in all, I think everywhere around the world, they eat some form of an animal, right?
Yeah.
Including humans. But none of it means it's okay. Yeah, there's cannibals on this planet, right? They eat humans. So, but does any of that feel moral to you? Does that any of that feel right?
No.
No.
So why would it feel? Bringing it back to other animals like chickens, pigs, or cows? Why would that feel right, but the rest feels wrong?
Well, I think I really don't know, but sometimes when I eat a cow, it doesn't feel right, and when I
Yeah.
eat meat, because I was vegetarian when I was younger, but I mean I didn't grow because of I didn't grow because of not eating it. So
I doubt that is true. I'm actually a certified nutritionist, and I don't think that's true.
Yeah, so I did start eating meat again, but not so much as normal people do. So
Yeah, I also don't eat meat
a lot of meat because
Why not?
because we think it is like a little sad for the animal
Yes.
because
So wouldn't it be a little sad for that one animal that gets killed once per week for you, let's say?
well, I think it's also better because like the cows, it's not good for the planet when they get killed because it's not good. I
Well,
don't know.
none of them are good for the planet, but what about the animals? What about for them? Is it good for them?
I think
No. Nee, dat is voor de
it just
vermoord.
made like normal to eat some animals and some other animals not. So, and also if some people maybe don't want to be or going to be
Yes, but if
vegan
everybody
because
if everybody eats
it was niet klaar.
if everybody eats 1 pound of meat a day, and if that's the difference if everybody on the world eats 1 pound of meat in like 1 week. So
But-
it's better if it's less.
Of
So-
course it's better, but like if I were to say, hey, I normally beat my wife 2 hours per day, but now I switch to beating her only 1 hour per week. It's obviously better if I beat her 1 hour per week, but it's still wrong because I'm beating her, you see
yes,
what I mean?
but it's still. If
I think
can
people
ha-
don't want to be vegan because now or just like think it's not really helpful because there's so much people that don't be vegan.
Is that why you don't want to be vegan?
No, I really like chicken.
Yeah.
so
So do you think your taste pleasure is worth more than their life?
no.
But your actions say otherwise, then,
No,
don't they?
like
Yeah, you should be vegan.
I mean, like, I think it's like, I know it would help, but like, hey, we worden gefilmd. For, like, I don't mean my, like that I'm eating is better. I would also like not eat the
Sit down,
chicken
man.
because it's really bad for the
Yes.
voor de
Oh, ik kan
weet
geen
het niet hoe heet het? Like for the dieren. Hoe heet de dieren?
the
For the
animals?
animals.
Yes, yes, because it's really sad for them. But I don't know. Maybe
So why not? Let me just put things into perspective. Do you know, for example, dairy cows, the cows that produce milk?
Yes.
I would assume that you think that there's this relationship where we feed them and they feed us back, right?
Yes.
Do you know why cows produce milk?
No, I don't know.
Why would the human produce milk?
To sell it.
No, like if you start lactating, women when they start lactating, why do they do that?
That's
Lactating means giving milk.
oh,
breastfeeding.
Yeah, breastfeeding.
Well, they do it for their baby, and
Exactly. They do it
Yeah.
for their baby. It's the same reason. Cows make milk for their babies. So cows have to have babies, right? Do you think cows, in order to produce milk, do you think that they have babies whenever they want to, or do you think farmers decide for them?
now
Farmers decide
farmers
for
decide
them.
for them.
Yeah, so they forcefully impregnate them. How would we call it if we did it to a human being? If we forcefully impregnate.
Not good.
It's abuse. It's
Hoe kan je
good.
dit zo goed?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
that's true.
Yeah. So, first of all, we abuse them sexually, right? So that we get them pregnant. After 9 months, when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
Kill.
Well, the first thing that happens is we separate them from their mothers so that they don't drink the milk. Because
Why
if they would
not?
stay with their mother, they would drink the milk. But farmers need to control how much milk they drink. So they separate them. And sometimes you can even, have you been to the Gitten farm in Amsterdamse Bos?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ja, ik ben er een keer geweest.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so if you've been to there, you will notice, next time you go, you will notice that babies are separated from the mothers. They're always separated because, so that they don't drink the milk.
Yeah, I saw also one time cows are always not with their babies.
Exactly, because they would drink their milk otherwise.
Yes.
So,
But they have like flashes, like little bottles with milk.
yeah. Sometimes they feed them a formula either based on like some dust that they mix with water or something. Yeah. So if they're born male, what do you think happens to them? They don't produce milk.
I don't know.
They get killed.
Oh,
And you will notice also, like in if you go to the Geitenborderij in Amsterdamse Bos, you will notice that the males are separated. There's only 1 or 2 adult males. There's not a lot, and mostly the kids are separated. The kid males are separated from the female males, for that reason, because some of them are getting killed. So if they're female, same fate as their mother. Every year forcefully impregnated, and when they can no longer be impregnated, they get killed also.
But like I would be vegetarian. I would be okay with it. But
Yes.
if only I would do it, not much people in the world are vegetarians. So
But
like
vegetarian would still imply you're eating milk or cheese, which would essentially be still exploiting these animals as I described
I
now.
would be vegan if more people would be vegan, because not just because then it's normal, but because then it will help. Because
But it could help also, like, so let me put it this way. I'm sorry for interrupting you there, but like, we kill around 90 billion land animals. That is 10 times our population per year. And of course, you as an individual, if you were to go vegan, you would be saving up to 100 animals per year. So 100 animals, if you subtract from the 90 billion, it would mean absolutely nothing, right? It's like me taking this right here. You wouldn't see it. It's the same thing, right? That's kind of the difference. And it doesn't really mean anything to the whole pavement or to the whole industry if you go vegan, but it means absolutely everything to those 100 animals. Right? Like if you were to pick, if there was a rich person in this world and every year they would choose 100 humans to kill, it would mean nothing to 8 billion people on this planet. But if you were the one who was picked to being killed, it would mean everything to you if they spared you that, right?
that's true.
Yeah, that's kind of how you should think about it, because it's about those individual animals, not about the bigger picture necessarily.
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank
See what I
you.
mean?
You're really right.
Let me just give you a card to look more into it, okay? And
Yes.
do I give you 1 card or 2 cards?
2 cards.
2 cards, okay.
Thank you.
Just watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. I think it's safe to watch, okay?
Yes.
And you can watch it with your family or anything, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers. Have a good one. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know how much of that you caught. The battery is yet again messing with me. Yeah, great job. Thank you. You want to try a social experiment? No, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of thank you, Mike. Geez, that's kind of the whole thing about it. It's kind of insane to see such young people so ingrained in this. But maybe that also tells us something. If you're so ingrained in this whole, it's okay to kill some animals, but not okay to kill other animals. At that age, at 12, right, which would imply, I don't know, maybe 8 years of brainwashing. Doesn't that imply that it doesn't really matter what age you are? It doesn't really, none of it eventually matters? Like, what I'm trying to say is that if you're sorry, I'm very dehydrated. If you're so, if your thinking is so ingrained at that small age, that it doesn't really matter how old you are, right? It doesn't really matter. I feel like, because I keep seeing people who are old using it as a justification. Oh, I'm too old to change. Well, come on, young kids at 12 use it as a justification. Then it's pretty clear that it doesn't really, the age doesn't really matter. What matters is how much you want to do it. Drink water, says Linda. Good point, Linda. Thank you. I just fear that if I drink a lot of water, I'll have to go to the bathroom. But yeah. But that humans are animals, children are humans, child labor is X, so are we not exploiting animals or just not exploiting the fuzzy ones? Eric Kelly, you should not exploit anybody, including humans. So if you were given the option between exploiting children, as you say, for child labor or not exploiting children for child labor, why would you ever choose to exploit children? Is that what you would do, Eric? Because Eric Kelly? Because I would definitely not be choosing that. I would definitely say, hey, hell no. Eric Kelly says, but your watch. What about my watch? Was I given an option between exploiting children or not exploiting children? Do I need to explain the whole? I can explain it again, sure, no problem. So there's two differences which we need to acknowledge, and I'll explain them as I go. First of all, there's systems that contain exploitation and systems that inherently depend on exploitation. Systems that contain exploitation, like as you put it, child labor, are systems that need improving, right? If you were to, let's assume my watch, as you put it, right? You have a problem with it. Well, let's assume there is some form of child labor for my watch. There isn't. When I bought it, I checked, but let's assume there is, right? I'm not here to agree to disagree to that or whatever. The problem is that if you were to choose to not buy that watch, or everybody in the world would choose to not buy that watch anymore, it wouldn't fix the child labor issue, because that factory, maybe that factory won't no longer do child labor, but those children will go and work somewhere else. Child labor is an issue of the governments. It's a systemic issue of a certain country. It's not an issue that is because of you. It's not an issue because you want it in a certain way, right? It's an issue that can be fixed only by the governments, not by yourself per se. So you can try to, of course, protest that, and I have been doing some protests sometimes about that. But the difference with animal consumption, Eric Kelly, as you place it, animal consumption, animal agriculture is a system, it's a industry that inherently depends on exploiting animals. Animal agriculture can never exist without animal exploitation. It just cannot. It is insane. It's impossible for animal agriculture to exist without animal exploitation. Therefore, this system, if you reject it, then the industry will shrink. It's as easy as that. Makes sense. Eric Kelly, thank you for an intelligent response and not trolling. I'm not here to troll. Honestly, Eric Kelly, I really, sometimes I make jokes and I make fun, and I'm not here to be disrespectful and to make jokes. I really am here just to defend animals. And if I seem disrespectful or too direct or rude or whatever, it's just because of my personality. You might not like my personality, and that's okay. Not everybody has to like my personality. You and that chip guy love to ask leading questions to get a gotcha moment. Well, no, we don't. Eric Kelly says, I've been listening for weeks now. Yeah, well, thank you for being here, Eric Kelly. Then I appreciate you being here, and thank you for listening. I hope at some point it makes that click for you. To be honest, let me tell you my story. Maybe that will resonate a little bit with you. So my story was that I was a vegetarian, because I started being a vegetarian because I just read some studies about how red meat was carcinogenic, and I realized that I don't want to take the risk. It's not worth it, and I never really liked the taste of meat that much anyway. So yeah, sure, nutritionally speaking, from white meat you can get some pretty good nutrients, but you can easily get all those nutrients from other sources. Like I managed to do it for years, right? So it's no issue. So I just decided to be vegetarian from that point on. It wasn't about the animals. But at some point I was watching videos online, kind of like how you say you are. Eric Kelly, I kind of how you say you are. And I was listening to debates because I'm very fascinated by debates. I like debating myself a little bit. I want to get better at it, and I just enjoy intellectual confrontations. You know, I just enjoy those a lot. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy doing them myself. I don't know how good I am at them yet, but I'm learning. And I started watching the most of the debates you'll find online are, well, nowadays I guess you get a little bit more, but when I started, I just would find about veganism. So I started watching debates about veganism from an activist called Joey Carbstrong. And a lot of vegans already know who Joey Carbstrong is. And yeah, you know, I was watching video after video, and yeah, I would hear the story of how dairy cows are treated, and I knew that that's what I'm buying, and there was always a little bit chipping at me feeling good about the choices that I'm making. I always had this small thing saying, well, that's not really what I'm paying for. Well, that's not really what I'm paying for, and at that point in time, I was only eating like, I don't know, I don't really like cheese that much, so I wasn't eating that much cheese. You wanna try a social experiment? Yes. I'll continue in a bit.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Okay, my name is Erasmus.
Erasmus, are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Who are you? I don't know you.
I don't know.
You have like.
Okay. Are you okay being live?
Okay, yes, don't care.
Okay. What's your name? You said Erasmus.
Erasmus.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're in it's shorter journey.
Where are you from?
I'm from Greece.
Greece, nice. Okay. So I'll ask you this.
Okay.
Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless? The powerful people to restrict the powerless.
No, so let me put it this way. If there is
Oppress
one
means
individual...
underestimate them.
Oppress means cruel or unjust treatment.
Of course not.
Or exercise of authority. Basically means if you have power over somebody, should you be able to abuse your power
Of
over
course
them?
not. Of course not.
Of
If
course
you
not,
have
okay.
power, I can abuse someone who has not power. Of course
Exactly.
not.
And we're speaking about two people here, right? One with power, one without power, okay?
Yes, of course not. Someone who has power hasn't the right to abuse someone who is powerless.
Okay. I appreciate that. Okay. What if they're physically stronger than them? Does
Of course not. What are you talking about?
What if they're intellectually stronger? I'm going somewhere. Bear with me.
Well, under no circumstances someone who power has the right to abuse someone without power, even though it's a muscle power, even though it's intellectual power, even though it's money. Of course.
Okay, no money, no. Okay, what if the powerless, the one without power, doesn't realize that they're oppressed?
Well, I think that it's very difficult for someone to realize it because it's kind of depressing. Realize that you're kind of you don't have the right to.
But let's say they don't have the cognitive abilities to realize that they're
yes,
oppressed.
they don't have most times. So they should try to read more. So they should try to develop their intellectual.
But let's assume they can't do any of it. Would oppressing them be okay? If they're intellectually challenged, let's put it this way.
What do you mean?
Like if they're I don't know how to put it. Do you know what intellectually challenged means?
Intellectual?
Intellectually challenged.
Challenged. Challenged, you mean intellectually poor?
Yeah, like let's say.
Okay, they're intellectually
let's
poor.
say they're born and at the age of 3 or 4 they don't grow up anymore after the age of 3 or 4 mentally.
Okay, yes.
Should we be able to oppress those individuals on the premise that they may never realize that they're oppressed?
Why to oppress someone?
No. Okay, I appreciate it. Maybe you get some benefit from it. Okay, so what about phenotypes? Do you think we should be oppressing based on phenotypes?
Excuse me.
So phenotypes means
Phenotypes.
yeah.
Phenotypos.
So phenotypes, I don't know how to put it in the Greek.
No?
Yeah. Should we be oppressing somebody based on phenotypes? Like physical characteristics or
Well, we should
behavioral
not
characteristics?
oppress the σημαίνει καταπατώ. We shouldn't oppress no one.
Okay, thank you.
It's clear. It's
Okay.
totally clear.
Okay, I have to ask all these questions because the last question will make sense why I asked all these questions.
Yes.
Should we be oppressing animals?
Of course not.
But are we oppressing animals?
Of course.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Are you participating in this oppression for animals?
You mean if I'm vegetarian or vegan or
Are you vegan? Yes.
Well, I would like to be because I agree with the ideology of veganism,
Oh, okay.
but I haven't managed to implement this diet yet. But I would like to do it.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's very fun because like 10 minutes ago I saw a conference in Greece about diet and protection animals, which will happen by Medical School of Athens, and I won't be able to take part in it because I'll be here in Netherlands.
yeah, fair
so
enough.
it's
Yeah, coincidence, huh?
yes.
So let me put it this way, but veganism is not a diet, right? It's a
No, it's not a diet. It's an ideology.
Yeah, it's an ideology,
No, it's
you're
not a diet. I don't a diet. I don't know how to say it in English better. Diet.
You're doing great, by the way.
Okay. Not diet seems to me like something strict. Shouldn't be that kind of strict. But I know that it's very difficult for many people to implement veganism because generation now they have learned to eat meat.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, it's a
learn to
habit
abuse
for most
Yes,
people.
it's habit for most people, and it's very difficult to be away from that habit if you are intellectually poor.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But it's we can talk about all these other people, but
Okay.
like I'm curious about yourself, right?
Yes.
What would incentivize you then to go vegan right now, since you've been thinking? Like, what's keeping you from?
What's keeping informed? It's difficult because I had an eating disorder, and I didn't want to eat something with many calories in the
Yeah.
past. So I had
I get
to
that.
balance first my diet because I have some stress about diet in all the way. So after that, after being okay with a balanced diet, a balanced diet, I will try to implement it when I manage to do it.
So how many more animals should be exploited for you before you change?
I believe I eat vegetarian all these days.
But vegetarians still exploit animals,
Yes,
don't they?
okay.
Right? Dairy cows are still
Yes. Well,
killed.
listen, I agree with the ideology. But it's very difficult to implement it if everyone implements like that. But-
If everyone is not vegan, you mean? Right?
Yeah, it's very difficult, but of course it's not like an explanation for that, but it's difficult. Okay, well, my friends are waiting.
Yeah, let me just give you a card before you go. This will help you out. You just scan this QR code.
Okay.
Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. And one more thing there. Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan for free.
Okay. It's good.
I'm sorry, I went faster that you don't run away.
I think that live video will be uploaded for.
It's already live.
No,
already-
it's live, but it will be uploaded or just
Yeah,
live?
it will also be there. Yeah, you have my YouTube channel there.
Okay.
Let me tell you real quick. So again, Challenge 22, they send you recipes, they hook you up with a nutritionist, they
Okay,
help
but
you go
I have to
vegan,
leave because
okay?
my friends are waiting.
Okay,
Okay, nice to meet
check
you.
it out, okay? So as I was saying, great outreach. Was okay. As I was saying, so I was watching Jerry Carpstrom videos, and I always thought, you know what? At that time, I was only buying. I'm continuing the story for you, Eric Kelly. Is Challenge 22 an app, Eric Kelly? No, it's not. It's actually a website, and you can find it also in the description of this video. So yeah, as I was saying, I was mainly just eating like eggs and yogurt, and I thought about switching from like dairy yogurt to plant-based yogurt, but then when I would look at the macros, I would be like, well, the macros are much better for dairy yogurt or something, and because I would always buy just this high-protein dairy yogurt or something, and that's how I would justify it in my head, And then as I kept looking at these videos, I just kept thinking, you know what? Yeah, it's horrible what happens to them, but that's definitely not what I'm paying for. It's impossible. I live in the Netherlands. You bike a little bit outside of Amsterdam and you see dairy cows, and they look happy. They're on the field. They do better. They're doing well. So I just refuse to believe that that's what I'm paying for. And that was always my justification. That sure, that is something that it is happening in the world, but that isn't what I am supporting. And I think Joey had a conversation with a person who said exactly similar things to me. And he said, well, would you be surprised to find out that that is what you're paying for? And I don't know. I remember I was listening to this as I was cooking, and then I just all of a sudden stopped and I'm like, holy shit, is that the case for me also? And I just did a simple Google search, and I guess it was a little bit of serendipity, to be honest, because had that article not been there, maybe I wouldn't have found it so easily. I would have definitely needed to speak to another vegan. But what I found was an article that was saying that 1,300 or 1,200 dairy farms in the Netherlands were leaving their young cow, after they're born, the male baby cow, they were leaving them to starve to death. And they were horrific pictures, you know. And I thought, holy shit, if Netherlands does this, then it's clear it's happening everywhere, what they're saying. And I calculated, well, okay, let's see, 1,300 dairy farms. Maybe that's a small percentage of how many dairy farms there are in the Netherlands. And it amounted to, I don't know if it even that's the correct number, but I remember that when I calculated, it was somewhere around 70 to 80% of dairy farms in the Netherlands were doing this. So then I thought, holy shit, that's insane. So there's no way for me to justify it. And there was always at the back of my head this idea that I wanted to go vegan because I knew it was the right thing to do. And just that night I said, you know what? I have to go vegan. I still had a couple of eggs. I still had some dairy products in the fridge. I didn't throw them away. I just used them further to buy, like I bought the yogurts, all the plant-based yogurts that I could find, and I found the ones that have the best macros and the most nicest taste to me. And then it was easy to replace that because I still had some animal products in the fridge and I could compare. And then for the eggs, I never really found a replacement, to be honest. There is some good replacement nowadays, but I don't even think I started to also like how do you call it, when you start, oh, I'm missing the word right now, man. I need to sleep more these days. Bargaining. I started bargaining, and I started thinking, well, what if I get a chicken and keep it on my balcony because I have a balcony, and then I'll have some ethical eggs or something. You know, I didn't really know a lot about egg production or anything. And for 1 month, I think I just went through this transition where I didn't no longer bought animal products, but I was just trying more and more plant-based products, which I found, by the way, very interesting. It was for me that transition period. I still remember it fondly because it was just such a nice thing to find new tastes, to find the new ways to get your macros. It was a bit of a challenge. I always love a little bit of a challenge because, you know what, it's not one of those challenges that's even difficult. It was just a relatively easy challenge. All I had to do was just pick different products and find out what works for me. So I kind of liked it. Yeah. Is there a vegan replacement for eggs? There is Just Egg, I know, in the US. There's a couple.
Can we talk to you?
Yeah, sure. Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Ja, hallo. Je moet afkomen. Oké.
What are your names?
Lily.
Lily, nice to meet you. I'm Chip.
Sophia.
Sophia. Okay.
Hallo.
Lily and Sophia. Okay. Here is the question. Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
No. So oppression means cruel or unjust treatment or exercise of authority. It basically means having power over somebody and abusing that power over them.
You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that.
No.
What if you get some benefit from it?
You still shouldn't do it.
Okay. What if you have physical superiority to them? Should you be able to do it?
No.
What if you have intellectual superiority? Should you be able to do it?
No.
Okay. What if the powerless, the one who doesn't have power, doesn't realize that they're oppressed?
Someone should help them.
But should you
Oh no,
oppress
you
them?
still shouldn't.
You still shouldn't. Okay.
No.
And should we discriminate or decide whether to oppress somebody or not based on phenotypes? Do you know what phenotypes are?
How they look, right?
Yeah. Basically,
No.
No. Okay. Okay. So all these questions, they lead me to that one final question. Do you think that we are oppressing animals when we're forcing them into slaughterhouses for us?
Yes.
Yes. Are you participating in this cruel practice?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not here to judge, by the way. I used to be part of it. I'm not here to judge. But so then, how does that work with acknowledging that oppressing somebody is wrong, acknowledging that we are oppressing animals? Isn't that a contradiction when you say that I'm against oppression, but then you're also paying for it?
Yes. I think so, yeah.
So what do you want to do going forward? Do you want to leave this behind, or do you basically you have two choices, right? You either say, well, no, I'm for oppression. I think oppressing somebody is okay as long as you benefit from it, or do you want to go vegan and not oppress animals?
I wouldn't go vegan.
You wouldn't go vegan?
No.
So you think
Because
oppression is
they get
okay?
Killed, so why wouldn't you eat them?
Because the animal that you buy indeed gets killed, but then the product gets replaced, so another animal gets killed because you bought that product.
Yeah, I
It's
think
supply and demand.
if only we become vegan, it doesn't really
Make
affect
change.
the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Like in the world, we kill 90 billion land animals, 90. That's an insane amount of number, right? So one person going vegan can save up to 100 animals per year. So both of you would be saving, I don't know, 200 animals in 1 year, right? Of course, out of 90 billion, it means almost nothing if you subtract it from that number. But to those 200 animals, it means everything, you know? Like imagine this way, there's a really rich person in this world. They're allowed to kill 100 people each year. It means nothing to you if they kill 100 of random people. But if you're one of those 100 people, it means everything to you. You see what I mean? That's kind of how you can think about it. Because if you were in the shoes of any of those 100 animals, would you want that other person to continue exploiting and killing you, or do you want them to stop?
Stop.
Stop.
Yeah. So that's the whole perspective of being vegan. It's about acknowledging that.
Are you vegan?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, yeah. It's specifically for this reason, because I think it's wrong to exploit and abuse animals just because we can. You know, like, do you think that there's any other reason to not be vegan?
I don't know.
No,
No.
there isn't really. It's just hard with the world being so into meat. So.
No, I agree. I agree. But you live in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the Netherlands, you have so many alternatives everywhere. Every restaurant has a vegan
That's
option. Albert Heijn is full of plant-based options nowadays. So you kind of have options everywhere. You just got to ask yourself where your values lie, right? If everybody does it, does that mean it's okay to do it? Like, I don't know. Imagine this.
No.
100 years ago, women didn't have rights, right? Or maybe 150 years ago, women didn't have rights. So if somebody were to say, well, let's give women rights, everybody else would say you're insane. Everybody agrees women shouldn't have rights. That doesn't mean that it's right for women not have rights. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be with everybody, or do you want to be in this new wave where we are trying to challenge preconceptions?
New wave.
New wave. New wave. How old are you?
14.
14. Damn, that's. How old are you?
Also 14.
Okay, nice. Well, I'm 37, and I can tell you that my biggest regret in life is not going vegan earlier, because it's, you know, if you start calculating how many animals you kill with 100 per year, you're like, oh, well, that's insane. That's insane, you know?
I actually don't really eat a lot of meat. Like
Yeah.
once a week or with Christmas or something.
Why not?
I'm not really into it, I think.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. I was also not into it. So that should be easy for you then, I guess. But let me tell you, like, do you know dairy cows? Do you know? Because it's not just about meat. Also, any animal product inherently exploits and kills animals. Like, do you know about dairy cows? What happens to them?
Yeah, they get put in those machine, right?
Well, that's a small part of it. But let's put it this way: why do you think cows produce milk?
Don't know.
Well, why would you produce milk if you would?
For a kid.
Exactly. The same reason that cows produce milk for their babies. So do you think that cows decide when they want to go pregnant, or do you think farmers decide for them?
Farmers.
Exactly. We call it they call it artificial insemination, but it's literally forceful impregnation. Do you think if we were to forcefully impregnate a female woman, how would we call that?
Abuse.
Exactly. Yeah. So we sexually abuse cows, and when the babies are born, what do you think we do to them?
Kill them.
Kill them.
Well,
Or eat
interesting.
them.
Everybody jumps to killing them, but no. The first thing that happens is they separate them from their mother so that they don't drink the milk.
Yeah.
Because you know, they have to sell the milk. If they're born male, yes, they kill them because they don't produce any milk, or they leave them to starve to death, including in the Netherlands. I've seen that happen. And if they're born female, every year they get forcefully impregnated, so sexually abused, have their baby stolen from them, exploited for their milk. And when the year that they can no longer get pregnant, because you know, nobody was made to be forcefully impregnated year over year repeatedly. So after 6 to 8 times of doing that, so after 6 to 8 years, they get killed, because keeping them alive for another year to try to impregnate them again would be too expensive for them. And they can live up to 24, 25 years. So a quarter of their life spent being forcefully, you know, being sexually exploited and eventually killed. Is that not cruel?
It is.
It is. That's kind of what we do to animals, you know. It's so. Do you want to support this?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Wait.
Do you want to
No,
support
no.
animal agriculture? What we do to cows, for example?
No.
No. So then, I'll just ask you this one final question. I'll let you go. How many more animals should be exploited for you before you make a change?
0.
0. You gotta go vegan for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go vegan now.
You're gonna go vegan.
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try. I appreciate that. How about you?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Let me just give you some I'll give you 2 cards to help you out with this, and you know, you make the decisions for yourself. I'm not here to force anybody. I'm here to inform more than anything, and hopefully get you to make the right decision. I urge you to watch the most important speech you'll ever hear, or Dominion, if you want to see what animals go through. And there's a thing here. All of it is if you scan this QR code. If you scan this QR code, there's a thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan for free. Okay?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God, this battery, everyone. I'm sorry. I hope you've the battery keeps messing with me. Every time I turn around, the battery is messing with me. I don't know if you have. I hope you guys have seen that. I don't know if you've seen it. I think you've heard it, but I hope you have also seen it. It's like this phone is bamboozling me. Yes, we did. We saw it. Okay, that's good. DC asks, are you getting a phone line for callers? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I would love to have that, but I do not have that. DC, if you want to call me, if you want to talk to me, contact me on Instagram. In fact, you know what? Later today, I will have a conversation with somebody. We were supposed to have it, well, 40 minutes ago, but I wanted to also do some street outreach today. Yeah. Chip, if you were to handle everyone as a child, you'd make greater progress, in my opinion. Good point. Maybe I should, huh? Maybe I should treat everyone as a child. Alexandra keeps telling me the same thing. Maybe I should speak to everybody as a child. I generally don't like doing that much, you know. I kind of like the intellectual stimulation, speaking to adults. Like the first conversation, I enjoyed that. But you're right, maybe it would be better results if I speak to them as I do to a child. Yeah, just kindness. And everybody, if you're enjoying these conversations, hit that like, that subscribe. Let's get those numbers up. Let's get, I don't know, let's get things rolling. No, let's get things going. There was a guy who I did outreach with, I think, last week. He just passed by and said hello to me. The vegan plant says you're doing great. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Dave FTA, hi lovely people, hope you all are doing well. Hello Dave, nice to see you here. Yeah, we're doing well, we're having some conversations, and yeah, we're probably not going to be doing all of these really long streams anymore. We're going to keep them at somewhere around 2 hours, something like that, because I want to do them more often. I want to do them every day and more often, or every day that is good enough to go out. I kind of found the loophole to my schedule where I can work half a day and do some of this and then work for the rest of the time also. So it works for me, and I feel like I'm not pushing myself too much, and I'm not overly stressing myself by thinking, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, all that. So yeah, so I might do these a little more often and less duration. Normally, it's interesting because I was thinking this week that, or last week, I don't know when, I was thinking that at some point I started doing these once a week, and I thought they were super interesting when I was doing, I think last summer I was doing them once a week, and then I started doing them once a week, at least every week. So every week I try to do it, to make sure that I do it once a week. And I don't know when I started doing them more often, but yeah, I enjoyed them more often. Damn, my battery. Oh my God, everybody, my battery is a dick today. I don't know what's up. Sometimes my battery is just a dick. So I want to clarify one thing. I noticed Ali saying something about plant-based. So there's a difference between plant-based and being vegan, right? Plant-based is the diet. Vegan is a moral philosophy, a moral idea, a moral principle, however you want to call it, that animals should not be exploited for you, or that they exist not for the purpose of you to exploit them, or that you want to reject their exploitation. There's a lot of ways you can put it, but you understand the idea, right? It's a moral principle of saying, hey, it's wrong to exploit animals, and given that it is optional to do so, you have a moral obligation to not choose that, right? So that's kind of veganism. And plant-based literally just means eating plants or eating just plants, So a plant-based diet is a consequence of being vegan, right? Just like not wearing leather, or not wearing any of their skin, or not exploiting them for entertainment or anything like that, like going to dog fights or stuff like that, is another consequence of being vegan, right? But I urge you to not get too lost in the labels. They don't really matter, like I think that labels can help you if you want to identify with something, right? If you want to say that I kind of want to know where I sit, if you want to put yourself in a little box, a little group, you can call yourself vegan, you can call your diet plant-based or whatever. But the reality is just about acknowledging that you have options, and that it's wrong to choose an option where you exploit an animal. It's because it would be wrong to choose an option where you exploit a human also, for that matter. So again, if you have options, don't choose otherwise. And I know there might be situations where you're like, I don't know, in a really weird place and you don't have any plant-based products or something that you can eat. Another option would just be to not eat in that moment. And I know it sounds weird, but it could be an option. It's you don't have to eat 3 times per day, as long as you don't. I'm just saying, right? Like the way I see it is that extraordinary actions require extraordinary justifications. Exploiting and killing somebody is pretty freaking extraordinary. So you definitely need a pretty freaking extraordinary justification for it. Ego says, I eat once a day and it always has meat in my food. Well, why doesn't it have human meat? Why don't you kill children to eat them? Because it's wrong, right? It's a pretty simple answer. Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong to exploit kids or to kill kids for food? Pretty simple question. As absurd as it is for me to challenge you on this question, you should have a logical reason for why it is wrong to do so, right? It shouldn't be because it's wrong or because they're children. None of that means nothing. You should have a pretty logical, consistent answer to why is it wrong to exploit or kill children. I can tell you what it is, but think a little bit for yourself and then I'll say. Why is it wrong to exploit and kill children? Because there are species, that's why. Okay. That is not the true answer. Species is literally just a taxonomy, a category that we have invented to define whether we can successfully procreate with somebody. It literally means having fertile offsprings with that individual. Species means absolutely nothing. It's a category. If anybody wants to debate me, please contact me on Instagram and we can set up a debate. I have no problem. My handle is RealChipGuy. So I ask you again, why is it wrong to harm, I'll use the word harm this time, to harm children? Why is it wrong to harm them? EA says, if it's only a category, then we shouldn't eat plants as well. Well, EA, I can explain what the difference between plants and animals and humans are. I can explain these differences. There are logical differences, yes. So I ask you, and I'll get to it. I just have to ask you again, why is it wrong to exploit and kill children? I know, it's silly. I know you probably are like, oh, I'm done with this question. Can you just tell us already? I don't want to tell you. You have to think. That's the whole point of this whole exercise of me being outside, is for me to not spoon feed you information, but you think for yourself. Hey, Alexandra, nice to see you here. I think you're also going to go live today, right, Alexandra? Jax Jones says because they're vulnerable. That's a good enough explanation. What if they wouldn't be vulnerable? What if they would be this jacked kids? If there's this freaking monster of a child, he's like benching 315 or something. He's stronger than you or something, I don't know. So he's not necessarily vulnerable, but he's still a child. Would it be wrong to harm them if you can? We see ourselves in them. That's also a good explanation. That basically means you can empathize with them. Okay, you can empathize with them. Good explanation, but that's not it. You want to try a social experiment? I'll reply after. Okay. You guys okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Okay.
What are your names?
Simona.
Simona, nice to meet you.
Giada.
Giada.
Sì.
Where are you from?
Italy.
Okay, I'm interesting. When I heard you say Simona, I thought, because I'm from Romania, I thought it sounds pretty Romanian. Okay. So should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
I don't know.
So if there's, let me explain. So if there is an individual, a person with power over somebody else, should they have the right to abuse their power over them? That's what I'm asking.
No.
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 No, okay.
No.
What if they're physically superior? Should they have that right to do so? Does them being physically superior mean that, and they can dominate somebody, would that mean that they should do it?
No.
No. What if they're intellectually superior? Should they be allowed to dominate somebody?
No.
To abuse them?
Oh, yeah.
No, okay. What if the powerless, the ones without power, don't realize that they're being oppressed, that they're being exploited? Would that mean exploiting them or oppressing them is okay?
Non ho capito cosa se loro non hanno cioè le persone che sono dominate non capiscono di essere dominate, sarebbe ok? No. For me is no.
No, okay. Okay, and what if they should we judge whether to exploit them or not based on phenotypes? Do you know what phenotypes are?
No.
So phenotypes are like observable characteristics, either behavioral or looking like say skin color, hair type, I don't know, bone structure, stuff like that. Should we exploit somebody because they're different in that way?
No.
No. Okay. So all of these questions, they boil down to that one final question. What about animals? Should we be exploiting animals?
Dominarli intende sempre? Ah, no.
No.
But we did.
But we do.
But
yeah. Are you, and I'm not here to judge, but are you two participating in this exploitation of animals?
No.
Dio, tu cioè,
Me, I'm vegetarian, so.
Do you consume animal products?
Not often.
We try to not eat it really often.
No.
So you consume cheese, milk, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Milk, cheese, yes.
Do you think there's exploitation behind those?
In a different kind, but yes.
Can you hold this for a second?
Yes. Aiuto.
One second. Oh no, I've been bamboozled by the tablet. Sorry, I'll show you this way.
No problem.
Okay, I'll show you this. Let's start here.
Okay.
Is this a dairy cow?
Cosa ha detto? Ah, se è vera?
A cow that produces milk. Is this a cow that produces milk?
I think no. It's for the meat. Yeah, it's for the meat.
What happens to cows when they cannot be impregnated anymore?
Ah, okay. Human kill them.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because what has to happen for cows to be pregnant?
I don't know. No.
Like, what would have to happen for you to be pregnant? For you to have kids?
Oh, to inseminate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Artificial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we do to cows, you see? We forcefully inseminate them, right? That somebody puts their hands in their anus, hold their cervix, and inject semen in their vagina. Somebody has to jerk off a bull, you see, for that to happen. This is what we do for dairy cows, right? When the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
Kill them because for the milk they don't need it, the baby.
Only if they're male, they kill them.
Yeah.
But the first thing that happens is they separate them from their mothers. Let me show you, because I also have that here. See? They take them away from their mothers, and then they isolate them. They keep them separated.
Yeah.
Because they would drink their mother's milk otherwise. So, yes, if they're male, they kill them. If they're female, they forcefully impregnate them every year until they can no longer impregnate them, because no body, whether human or animal, was made to be forcefully impregnated year over year. That usually happens around 6 to 7 years. So after they've been repeatedly raped 6 to 7 times in order to be pregnant, when they can no longer get pregnant, then they go to a slaughterhouse. And they can live 24, 25 years, so a quarter of their life. How old are you?
22. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you would go to a slaughterhouse
Yeah.
about now, basically. Yeah, and you would have already been raped 6 to 7 times. Is that nice to do to an animal?
No.
Of course not.
Does it matter that they're an animal or that they're not human?
It doesn't matter. That's the
It
same.
doesn't matter. No. So then, do you feel that it's important that, because even if you, and I appreciate you saying that you do it less, which is very important, but even if you do it once per week to that one animal, it still happens because you pay for it. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I understand what do you mean. Yeah.
So, have you ever considered going vegan and leaving all of this behind?
I consider, but I think it's difficult maybe. So it need time, energy. So it depends. Also, it depends of the place where you live, because maybe like here there's some kind of opportunities, and in Italy not.
Oh, there's
like
a lot of there's a lot of vegan food already that's vegan by
Yes.
like by default
Yeah,
in
in
Italy,
Italy,
right?
vegan food is so expensive.
really,
It's
really
not
expensive.
cheap for
Is
nothing.
pasta expensive?
No pasta.
Rice,
No.
beans,
No.
lentils.
this
But
kind of
we eat every day pasta and rice.
Yes,
It's
Yeah.
normal
It's
for us.
traditional for us.
Yes.
Eat pasta,
So do you think
rice.
that it would be more expensive to add cheese on it or to not add cheese on it?
No, of course, but
eat some things that could eat.
if you want to eat something different,
Like plant-based meats, you mean, and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
this
Yeah.
Stuff,
But
yeah.
you don't need to eat those, right? Like, let's put it this way. I'll give you resources to help you with this, right? To help you with your budget, to help you with all of
Okay.
this. But my question to you is, do you want to change, to not force cows into these situations anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course I want. Yeah.
So I'll ask you this one final question, then I'll give you the resources and I'll let you go. How many more animals should be exploited for you before you change?
I don't know. I don't really know. A lot. A lot.
No, how many should be?
quanti
Ah.
te ne servono per convincerti, intende?
no.
That's no number.
No, there is no number.
So it
One
should
and
be
100,
zero.
that's the same things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. So it should be 0, right?
Yeah.
That means you have to go vegan, okay? I'll give you 2 cards.
Okay.
Let me tell you real quick. If you scan this QR code,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things there you'll get is called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day, and they help you go vegan for free within your budget. All of it to help you, okay?
Interesting.
And there's also definitely Italians in that group, so they might put you with another person who's Italian, and help you out with all that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Really
Thank you
nice
so
to
much.
meet you.
Yeah, same. And let's show some compassion and fairness, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because maybe sometimes people don't take this choice because they think it's difficult, like
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Maybe it's not so much.
not so much. It's
they-
just
we
it-
need someone who says
Exactly. It just feels difficult because you're on the other side.
Yes,
But once you do it,
exactly.
you realize that it's actually easier. And while you're here in Amsterdam, I strongly recommend you try the vegan restaurants because
Yeah.
they're delicious.
Yes, we saw something in the street. Yes.
Nice, nice.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
You.
Thank
you. Have a good one.
Bye.
I actually had a really good feeling from them. Yeah. My iPad So I have a really shitty iPad, everybody. And my iPad is bamboozling me. What happens is from time to time, I guess it turns on accessibility mode. And when it turns on accessibility mode, I can no longer unlock it. I need to use Siri to unlock it, and in order to put in the PIN code, it's this whole freaking difficult thing. So I wanted to, the minute that they said about dairy cows and there was a language barrier, I wanted to bring up the footage of what happens to dairy cows. Well, luckily I have Alexandra's folder, so there you go. But yeah, that was a pretty good conversation, everybody, right? Wait, what happened to Alexandra? Is Alexandra not okay? Don't scare me. Alexandra needs to be okay. Chip, I respect you, I really do, but don't fight the argument that carbs are cheap. Protein is only cheap if you eat naturally produced meat. That's not true. That is 100% not true. I eat more protein now and pay less. Not true. You can make it work easily. You can make it work. The only difference is that, like, you can say, well, one of the food items might be more difficult to get a lot of protein, but throughout the day you can get enough protein that you need. And you want to try a social experiment? No, you can. I don't believe that it is expensive to be vegan. I believe that it can be, just like it can be expensive to not be vegan. It doesn't really matter. I think you can find ways to make it work within your budget. And I acknowledge that in some places it is easier than in other places, sure. But, you know, where are your values? You got to ask yourself your values. Just because it's a little bit more difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You know, I was with my sister in US. She lives in North Carolina. And I can tell you for a fact that it's not the easiest place to be vegan. It's not the easiest place to be vegan. But you still have a lot of options. And I made it work within my budget because I was the only one who's vegan there. You know, my sister isn't. So, and what can I tell you? There are ways to make it work. And I met another vegan in the supermarket who had 2 kids, and he said both of them are vegan. So, you know, you find ways to make it work. You just got to find that one way to make it work. And at the end of the day, I think you got to ask yourself if you think it's worth exploring. And if you think it's not worth exploring, then you got to ask yourself, why the hell is it not worth exploring? Don't you think it's wrong to exploit innocent animals? Why wouldn't it be okay to explore something that could potentially give you health benefits? Because, you know, plant-based diets can give you health benefits. No cholesterol. They're usually associated with a lower risk of heart disease. You get better what do you call it, health outcomes for your colon, right? Because you will be eating more fiber, and thus you will be, like, I just think you, in theory, you can be better off, or let's put it this way, you have a much easier chance of being healthy on a vegan diet than you do on an omnivorous diet, from my opinion. That's just how I see it, but that's an opinion, you know? But all that you need to know is that you can be at least just as healthy, at least. And that's enough. From my point of view, it's enough. So regardless of the price, regardless of the other impediments that you have on your thinking whether to go vegan or not, I would say try it, right? Try it for a month. If after a month you see that you can do it, why not? And when I say try it, actually try it, not, oh well, you see, I tried it. No, like try it like, you know what? I wanted to do it, because you gotta want to do it. That's also right. Change cannot happen if somebody's forcing you into it. So I'm not forcing any of you into it. Change does not happen if you just do it because, oh, why not, or whatever. Change happens if you have a little bit of will. You need a little bit of a will to change something that's so fundamental about your life, right? Like food is something pretty fundamental about your life. So in that sense, any change regarding that is difficult, because any change regarding any part of your fundamental that is so fundamental to you is difficult. But it being plant-based, whether you change from I don't know, regular food to eating plant-based food, from low protein to high protein, from any of this, whatever you want to change in your diet, the change can be just as difficult regardless. That's what I mean. So you shouldn't be put off by the idea of change. But I'm also a person who really loves change. If you could successfully force everybody to be vegan, would you? What does successfully force everybody to be vegan mean? If I could successfully force everybody to respect animals, yeah, why wouldn't I? If I could successfully force everybody to not fight wars, why wouldn't I? If I could successfully fight everybody to respect women, why wouldn't I? Of course. It's the same. If I could successfully force everybody to respect animals, yes, I would. I would definitely would. Why not? Isn't that what person in their right mind would say no? Well, ain't that oppressing though? There you go. If that's your whole argument of saying, well, if that was like a gotcha moment, I don't know what to tell you, man. Sure, you got me there. Is that oppression? I don't think it is oppression, but whatever. Is it oppressive to force somebody to not rape women? Is it oppressive? No. It's just, listen, you gotta respect women. It's as simple as that. Why would it be oppressive to force somebody not to rape animals? You gotta respect animals. It's as simple as that. I don't get it. What about abortion? Should I get into abortion again? Okay, I'll get into abortion and I guess I'll be done because it's been 2 hours and I don't want to leave too long. It's pretty simple with abortion, okay? So, I think a fetus becomes sentient around 24 weeks. You can Google it and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 24 weeks. I'll answer your question also, Eric Kelly, afterwards. Please remind me. So that means anything afterwards, after this fetus is sentient, would require some form of good explanation. I'll be back. Yeah. You guys want to try the social experiment?
Yes.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Perfect. Perfectly fine, yeah. How many subscribers do you have?
Oh, not a lot, like 3,000 or something like that. You guys want to be in view with the...
Sure.
Okay, love it. What are your names?
Nicola.
Nicola?
Giacomo.
Giacomo, I'm Chip. You from Italy or?
Italy, yes.
Okay, based on the accent, I guessed. Okay. Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
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 No. So oppression means cruel or unjust treatment or exercise of authority. Basically means having power over somebody and abusing your power over them, okay?
Okay.
So what if the powerful is physically powerful? Should they have the right to oppress?
No.
What if the powerless is what if the powerful is intellectually powerful, as in over somebody else? Should they have the right to oppress?
So if the powerful is the okay.
So if the powerful is somebody who is intellectually smarter than somebody else, should they have the right to oppress them?
No, to oppress, I don't think nobody has the
Okay.
right to oppress anybody.
Okay.
Independently from physical or IQ. I mean, IQ.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if they don't realize that they're oppressed?
Okay. If they realize it, would they change? Like.
No, let me put it this way. What if the powerless?
So like us, basically.
Yeah. So no, let's put it this way. What if somebody's oppressing you and you don't know that they're oppressing you? Would that mean somebody oppressing you is okay or not?
I mean, it wouldn't be okay, but
It wouldn't be okay.
You don't know. Like the myth in the cave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who sees only
Exactly. When
only
they get out of the
shadows?
cave,
Yeah.
they finally see what's outside and what's
So
the real
it
world.
would still be wrong to do this to them even if they don't know that they're oppressed.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. And should we discriminate based on phenotypes? Whether
So how you see how
yeah,
many.
yeah.
Well, no.
no, obviously not.
No, okay. Okay, so all these lead to this final question. Should we be oppressing animals?
It depends how. Like I don't know. Like you shouldn't, but like if you have a cow farm, I mean it's wrong to have them like not in an even space where they can live, but like everybody does it.
Do you think farming is oppressive?
It depends on what kind of farming, I think.
So if we farm humans, is it oppressive?
Yeah, it is. And it should also be the same thing for animals.
Exactly.
But
I ask one of you to take a picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
But no problem. We can take it afterwards. Yeah.
No way. So if farming is oppressive for humans, it should also be oppressive for animals. That's where we were.
It should also be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it oppressive to farm animals?
No, it is at the end any kind of farming, but I mean there are at the end ways of farming that are less oppressive than others, like intensive farming.
Sure. They are less, but they're still oppressive.
Oh, yeah, of course. They are still bounded from a fence.
Yeah, because all animals in farm and agriculture
Yeah.
are bred
All them.
into existence for us to use them, and then we cannot use them, we kill them, right?
Yes.
That's oppressive, right?
It is.
Yeah. So, like, I would assume you participate in it, though, right? You consume animal products and such.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm not here to judge. I used to be part of it too. But going forward, what do you want to do? Because it feels like there's a contradiction there, right? Because you say you're against oppression, but at the same time you're participating in it. So, do you want to be for oppression, or do you want to stop participating in it?
I guess what's the actual meaning of oppression? Because like if animals are bred to become food, their purpose is to become food for us.
Would that be okay to do to a human?
No, I guess not. But like,
So, what would it be okay to do to an animal?
okay, I mean, okay, so on this technicality, yes, of course it wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, as long as they feel, as long as they have a subjective experience of the world, you know, as long as there's somebody there, right? They have a will, they have a personality, and all of these animals have that. As long as they have that, as long as they're sentient, in other words.
Okay, but what do you define as sentient? And also, plants are not sentient.
No.
But they grow.
Say it again. They
Plants
grow.
grow.
Yeah, but
they-
plants are not sentient in the sense that there's not. You wouldn't look at the plant and say there's a somebody there, right? Whereas if you look at a dog, you definitely see a somebody behind those eyes. You definitely see will, thoughts, and all this kind of stuff.
It's a super valid point.
Yeah.
It's
I think we can expand on that and also consider all plants at the end. Like if you want to do it, like you couldn't even eat plants. So
Well, let's put it this way. I'll go. Plants are not sentient, by the way, but let's assume that they are, right? If plants were sentient, wouldn't it be morally preferable to kill as few plants as possible?
yeah, of course, if there would be a way to not eat and survive, of course.
Yeah. So then, well, if you were to know that when you buy animal products, you're killing way more plants because those animals are fed way more
Yeah,
plants,
exactly,
you
yeah.
know. So in essence, even if you think plants are sentient, it would still be morally preferable to not buy animal products because you'd still be killing more plants in that
I
process.
think the main problem is to eat what you actually need, because for also a lion kills a gazelle, but just for what he needs. Like,
Yeah, but
he's
we
not
don't
gonna
need
kill
animal products.
He's not gonna kill 20 gazelles and then leave some for the rest
That-
the rest of the days. You know?
You're
That's-
completely
that's-
right.
In a way, that's exactly what we do. We kill a lot of animals.
We exceed what we need.
We exceed.
But we don't, and we don't do it
that's-
out of need, right? Because we can thrive on a plant-based diet, right? That's hence why I'm vegan and I have no problem thriving. So, hence why there's so many millions of people on this
Yeah,
planet.
but there's every nutrient that you need in a carnivore diet, but not every nutrient that you need in a plant-based diet.
What nutrient is missing?
I'm not.
I don't know,
know, but
nutritionist.
Well, I'm a certified nutritionist, so
Yeah?
Okay,
yeah, I'm a
okay.
certified. And no, like, there's only one nutrient that you cannot get from food itself is B12. Well, you can get it from some food, but not enough. So B12 normally,
fish eyes.
well, fish also don't have it. So no animal. So some animals make a little bit of it, but the amount that you need or the amount that they need, they usually would get it either from bacteria on the ground, like cows would come rummaging.
Okay.
But since we fucked the ground, that bacteria is no longer so prevalent. So they no longer get it from there. So actually farmers feed them a supplement themselves of B12. Or fish, they take it from algae. And you can also take it from, like, a lot of the supplements are made actually from algae. So yeah, so regardless of that, I would argue even like what I learned in my nutritionist certification, one of the classes about B12 was that B12 is one of those things that nowadays pretty much everybody, regardless if they're vegan or not, should be supplementing it because you might get a deficiency. Because again, it's not so because of how agriculture is nowadays. And I actually got a B12 deficiency before even going vegan. So
Yeah, me as well. I think I have the B12 at home and I take it almost every day.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's the only thing that you need.
Yeah,
Everything else you can get from plants theoretically.
Yeah, and from meat.
Yeah, and from meat, but the only difference is that when you buy animal product like meat, an innocent animal gets exploited and killed for you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, no, I get
Right.
that,
So
It's a bit, yeah, it's a controversy. I stand for everything you're saying.
Yeah.
But at the end, I guess it's a very selfish thing.
Very. I think there are many ways to treat an animal to call it oppression or not. Like there are also ways to farm meat, to just like cut a chunk of a cow and then they grow it in a lab, and that's already a thing. Actually,
is it okay to cut a chunk of a cow?
Yeah, I mean, it regrows. It still lives.
They know it regrow. Do you think the cow is not a plant, man? If I cut a part of your muscle, do you think it
Yeah, but
regrows?
it's not something that the cow would be having a problem with. Yeah, I mean, you can.
That's an insane argument. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just I've never heard it.
The cow doesn't die, you know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, they don't die, but still, like the whole point is not using them, right? Like leaving them alone. And you have so many alternatives these days. Like everywhere you go, you have something there to eat as on a plant that's
Yeah, I
plant-based.
guess if I would be rich, I wouldn't. I probably would have the perfect diet, and I wouldn't.
What if you were to
much.
find out that it's actually cheaper?
It's cheaper to eat
Yeah.
vegetarian.
My parents went bankrupt, you know, and they actually their meat consumption has went from every day to once per week because meat is more expensive. So you would be surprised. Like they're not
Good
vegan.
quality meat, probably, because McDonald's is meat, but it's cheap.
I mean, you know, they want to eat healthy. Let's put it this way, right? If
Okay,
you want to
they
eat
wanna eat
healthy,
healthy, of course.
that's the whole point of it, right? Like,
Yeah,
if you want to eat unhealthy, there's also cheap vegan food that's unhealthy. You can be, of course, you can be vegan and eat plant-based food that is unhealthy and be unhealthy if you want that, and you might get cheap, or you can be healthy and it might be a little bit more expensive, but I think it's just as expensive as eating animal products if you want to be healthy. The prices are along the same line. It's not that.
I think for the everyday person, it's not for along the same.
But
line.
for you guys, it is, right? I can't speak for everybody, but if you guys live in Italy, for sure it is the same.
I mean, meat in Italy is not very expensive.
Neither is plant-based products like pasta, rice, beans, chickpeas.
Ah, of course, we eat pasta every day.
Yeah.
So,
do you think it's more expensive to add meat to pasta or to not have meat on pasta?
Not have it.
Yeah.
Of course, not have it, but it's not the same thing. No. You can
Yeah.
make a carbonara without.
No, but you can add like tofu, tempeh. There's all of these, and these are pretty cheap also everywhere.
Yeah, but then you're
I
making
guess-
another recipe.
I
so
guess-
you're changing it.
Yeah, but you're changing it because you respect animals, right? Don't animals deserve respect?
I mean,
Right.
I agree with everything that you've been saying, and I mean I acknowledge all of these things, but I guess I don't act on it, and it's
Why not?
Because I guess it's being selfish. I mean, and wanting to eat things that taste better. I don't know.
But you
I
might
don't-
find that they actually vegan food tastes better a lot of the times because
No, I like plants. I eat
Yeah.
a lot of vegetables and fruits. Just
I mean, you know, on
I
meat
wouldn't
we
know.
add plants, right? We add spices. Spices are plants.
yeah, of course.
So we add plants on meat to make it taste good, right? So plants are actually the ones who give most of the taste in our food anyway, in general.
I think it also depends on what you are trying to reach. Like, for example, I was a vegetarian for 2 years, but then I started losing weight very rapidly. So I guess if you want to lose weight and be healthier, I guess you can also start being vegetarian or vegan. But then I realized I was actually getting unhealthy. Maybe it was my diet, I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe you weren't eating enough. You were losing weight. It's simply a matter of calorie intake, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to eat more plants to get the same calories as.
Yeah,
something
for
else.
sure. Because
Yeah.
plants are plants are nutrient dense, and meat is calorie dense.
Yeah, exactly. So you would have to eat more plants, but then you have to adapt to changing. You know, you can just switch from one day.
You can also add nuts or stuff. Nuts are pretty
exactly.
high in calories.
I guess so. I think I have a pretty good diet, personally, because I have a
Good for you.
variety of. Yes.
What about the animals? Do you think your diet is good for them?
I hope the animals that I at least eat are having good diets too. Like,
Well, do you
we
think they're
also-
being exploited and killed?
or they're being grown to be killed.
Is that okay in your values, in your worldview? It's okay to bring somebody to life just to kill them
Well, the government does it.
for optional products?
It happens to humans.
But you support it, don't you?
I don't support it.
You
but
give money to it. Doesn't that imply
do you
that
give
you?
money to the government?
but I have to give money
Yeah,
to
we
government.
have to. We have no
But
choice.
you don't have to give money to all of these industries that exploit animals.
Okay, but then, okay, you could, if you want to, you can just live in the forest and eat plants forever your life.
But you can live wherever you live and eat plants.
Okay. So
I'm
okay,
just saying,
this
like,
is
it's not
an infinite problem here.
Well, it's not, because you're trying to make it seem as if it's such a different lifestyle. But I would bet that all of three of us have exactly the same lifestyle. It's just that I choose plant-based always, because I always have the option. So there's no difference other than, for me, 100 animals per year do not get exploited or slaughtered for me. Why would you want 100 animals per year to get exploited or slaughtered for you?
I don't think the numbers are actually for each person 1 year 100 animals.
How many animals do you think we kill worldwide?
Worldwide, okay, it's massive, of course.
90
but
billion.
If you think of the people, one person.
It's at
in
least
a year,
100, yeah.
At least 100 animals.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
It's a lot of animals.
I don't know the numbers.
I mean, let's just put it dairy cows. Do you think dairy cows are killed? The
Dairy
cows that produce milk, yeah.
So I didn't know.
Let me show you. Give me
Quelli
a
che fanno il
close.
latte. Dairy, del milk. Quelli che fanno il latte.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah, they're all killed. I know.
Yeah, no, of course.
so there's forcefully inseminated. Somebody's putting their hands in their anus and injecting bull semen in their vagina. Then somebody has to jerk off a bull for this to happen. You can see this on YouTube, by the way. You can check out how to get semen from a bull on YouTube. It's kind of insane that you can find that on YouTube. And yeah, when the babies are born, they separate them, they take them away, and then they separate them so that they don't drink their milk. And if they're born male, they kill them. If they're born female, they rape them every year, just like they did with their mothers, until they can no longer do that to them, and then they kill them. See? The males are being killed.
Like in China,
No, this
not
isn't
in
everywhere.
Europe,
This is everywhere.
No, I mean everywhere, but like in China, they used to do it to people. You know, if you had a girl baby, awake, you know.
Yeah, but you
So
just gotta ask
habits
yourself:
of
do you
people.
really want to pay for this shit? I mean, it's not. You can get your diet in check. You can make choices and make it work for you. It's just they cannot have
It's
like.
just easy. It's just a little bit harder to.
It seems that way when you're on that side, but once you change, it's exactly just as easy. Do you think my life is difficult?
No, I don't think your life. Is
No, so no life is actually difficult. It takes a little bit. It takes a little bit of adjustment period. You just got to go through that 1 month of adjustment, and then you come out on the other way, and no animals are exploited for you. But you gotta have to ask yourself really where your values are. Is it really not worth a month of adjustment? And adjustment, when I say it seems like grinding or something, but in reality it's exploring, because you explore new taste, you explore new things, and then after that 1 month, you get on that side and you're actually in line with your own values.
Are you vegan or vegetarian?
I'm vegan.
Completely. Okay, so
Yeah.
no milk.
Yeah, so
not
being
milk, yeah.
vegan means rejecting animal exploitation. It's
Yeah.
not a diet, right?
Mhm.
Because we also don't wear leather, we don't go to zoos, we don't. I don't know if that's real leather.
I don't.
Yeah, so we don't use animals for anything, for food, for clothing, for entertainment. Like if I were to ask you, is it absurd to exploit an animal for entertainment?
I
Yeah.
don't go to zoos or anything.
Yeah. So why wouldn't it be just as absurd to exploit animals for food?
You are completely right. I have nothing
it's
to say.
optional,
I
right?
can't say
Yeah.
anything.
Okay.
I have.
I mean,
I don't
the
have
only
arguments.
argument I would find against it is that they are born for a purpose.
But again, like if your mother said that your purpose is to be a slave, would that mean
but
it's
then
okay?
it's the same thing like with plants. So if you want to do it with animals, you should do it with plants too, because like if
But
you
we
grow
already
a
went
potato,
for plants already. Plants are not sentient; they don't feel. Do you think cutting the throat of a plant, cutting? Do you think this right
So
here
what's-
that I
what's
did?
sentient? Like,
Let me ask you: do you
just,
think this is
pull
the
away
same as cutting the throat of an animal?
No, the same would be to ripping it off from the ground, and you would be killing the plant. As
Well, no, because a plant, when you remove it, you can put it in water and it regrows. Plants are not sentient, man. Like if you cut a branch off of a plant, you can put it in water and it regrows. Do you think if I cut one arm from you or from an animal, do you think it regrows if I put it in
There
water?
are animals that regrows.
There are no animals who regrow if you cut them one arm.
There are.
There are.
If you
I've
cut the tail from some animals, it regrows.
Some animals have developed. They not if you cut them, they developed these.
The axolotl, for example, you can like chop his head and it grows, but that's no, like
It's extremely rare, let's say, in
Yeah, I mean,
extremely
it's the
rare
same thing,
situations.
you know.
But like, come on, you know that, like, again, like, if you think that plants are sentient, even in that situation, you want to kill less of them, so then you should still be vegan. You see what I mean? Like, it's still, there's no real argument against it, right?
No, there's no real argument against it. Just the thing is, if you want to eat meat, you should be able, like everyone should be able to eat meat. Like
So if you want to oppress animals, you should be able to do it. Everybody should be able to oppress
I don't
animals.
think the mass consumption of meat is good, but I think, like long
Why?
ago, long
Why
ago,
is mass consumption not good, but small consumption good?
meat is healthy. Everything that meat has is
So
good.
mass consumption is not good because it's unhealthy.
Yes, because they.
So it's
put-
nothing to do with animals.
No, I don't think it has nothing to do.
So
with
do you not care about animals?
I do care about animals.
Can you
I
care
had a
about
dog
them
or-
when you exploit and kill them for optional products?
No, I guess you should not care for the animals you're gonna kill. You can care for the animals you wanna keep as pets.
So
or
wait, if
something.
I say I care about women, but I go around beating women, and I use your justification by saying, well, I don't beat the women that I care about, would that mean that I care about women?
Yeah, but why would you go around and beat women?
For
It's
the
not
same reason as you, I
can-
get pleasure from it.
Yeah, but I think you have to distinguish between animals and people.
What is that difference?
The difference is we have evolved in a way that we can. We have
So
the
phenotypes.
power to. We have the power, like it was written there.
Sure. Do you know what we're talking about?
I'll just try to.
So we're talking about being vegan. Are you vegan?
Okay, whatever. So
Why
we have
am
to-
I?
Let me give you a
actually-
card. Wait. Let me give you a card.
I think we have to. Yeah, our friend is just one.
Yeah, no worries. You have Challenge 22 there. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan for free. You just gotta scan this QR code, okay?
Okay.
Watch one of these two, the Minion or the Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear, just to learn about what you're paying for. You might not be okay, okay? Just to get informed. No pressure there, okay?
Yeah, of course.
Cheers.
Thank you. Man.
Hey,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much.
And you should be vegan because you seem like a compassionate person. You seem like an honestly smart person, okay? Tell me.
Okay, you're saying you should be vegan because you seem like an honest,
Compassionate
honestly
person.
smart
Yeah, and
person.
fair person, yes.
That's a big argument.
Are you keeping live for my YouTube channel, by the way?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can explain my argument. Hold this for a second. So, it's pretty easy actually, because do you think that exploiting innocent animals for optional products is fair?
Yeah, that's. It touches upon the big questions of life, right? What is fairness?
I would say, what is fairness? I don't know. That's, I feel like it's kind of, it feels like it's axiomatic to say what fairness is. It's just
Yeah,
fairness. I don't know.
it's up there, right? And we try to. We have these voices inside, the mind that definitely tells me to not do that. But at the same time, I would also, because I'm vegetarian right now,
Yeah.
and I would say sometimes there's also some justification to going back to killing an animal for its meat, for its gifts. Maybe you would describe it.
Replace animal with the word human, and then tell me how is that morally justified?
Good one. Because it would theoretically also apply to humans.
So it would be sometimes justified to kill humans for optional products, just because you want to taste their meat or something?
That's the thing. I wouldn't want to taste. I wouldn't want to. Let's assume I have tried human meat
Yeah.
and I don't like it. That it's maybe based on. Is I don't like it. Yeah.
Is
then
it
it's
just
all
about
taste?
is it just about your liking? Do the victims not matter at all in your view?
They do. They do.
Right. So shouldn't we, especially in situations when it's like based on pleasure or taste, shouldn't we have pretty freaking good explanations for why we would exploit and slaughter somebody? Just because, I mean, in my worldview and from my values, I don't know what your values are, but from my values, exploiting and killing somebody is wrong, especially in situations of pleasure. Maybe if there would be some sort of a need but it would have to be a pretty good need for me to do that, right? Otherwise, I don't know how I could ever justify it.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to be the devil's attorney here, but I go on a daily basis.
Yeah,
do
thinking
my
about
things like this, like
Yeah.
you are arguing. Basically, also trying to get to the point where also moving from vegetarianism to veganism at some point, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But I see that's a logical consequence, and I went from a full meat eater to doing this step-by-step thing, and I can see that veganism is the only answer.
Yeah. What do you think being vegan is, by the way?
It's living nutritionally well without the need of consuming animal products.
Yeah, so being vegan is not a diet, right? So it's not just about nutrition. It's a moral principle of rejecting the idea that animals are here to be exploited. You know, they're rejecting the idea that they're just objects that we can use however we want, right? I think most people on this planet, they agree with the idea of veganism, right? Like morally or principally, they say, hell yeah, it makes sense. Animals should not be treated like objects. Animals should not be, I don't know, simply considered that they're here to be exploited or to be exploited for anything that we don't actually need, right?
Yeah.
So that is veganism, but it also means following through with it and actually saying, because if I say, well, I respect women, which everybody says, but then if I would say I respect women, but I go around beating women, I don't actually respect women. So if I say I reject animal exploitation, but I actually pay for animal exploitation, I don't actually reject animal exploitation.
Yeah, true. There's definitely that layer, moral layer.
Yeah. Well, it is a moral principle, veganism. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. And I'm currently reading. I have a course at university about commodity chains.
Yeah.
And supply chains and how they are so obscured nowadays.
Yeah.
There's this one TED talk. I forgot her name, but she basically says, basically shines light on that. That nowadays, as a consumer, you should go in the store and ask yourself, what am I actually buying here? What's involved behind this process?
Yeah.
And you kind of have a total alienation from this process. We don't know where it's coming from anymore.
Yeah.
And we don't know where it's going.
It's intentional that way, right? All
Yeah.
these industries, they intentionally make it that way because if you knew the shit that happens behind it, you wouldn't want to pay for it, huh? Like if they were to put images of what happens to the animals on the products, do you think people would want to buy them?
100% less.
Yeah.
And then you always have the people that will continue buying them because they just want to see those people burn or the world burn.
Oh, there's people like that, true. There's people like that, yeah.
And the kind of polarization of these topics makes a world full of those people.
Yeah.
And we are in a society which kind of works, but it's full of people that want to see the world burn at the same time. So sometimes making progress in such a direction is so difficult.
Yeah, it is indeed. I see what you mean. Yeah, but you know, like the way I see it, there will always be those kind of people, right? And whether those people negate or they're minus to your plus, right? Like if you do something good and they do something bad or not, it doesn't really matter because your actions shouldn't be affected by these people, but rather by your values. So if your values say that it's wrong to do this to an animal, regardless if everybody does it or not,
yeah.
You should be in line with your own values, right? That's all. That's how I became vegan, because my values said that it's wrong to do this to animals. I was a long time in denial. I was a vegetarian like you, and I was in denial, saying that there's no way that dairy cows are treated like that. There's no way that dairy cows are forcefully impregnated, that they have their babies taken from them, or that they have their babies killed.
Mm-hmm.
I was very much in denial, especially here in the Netherlands. But then I'm like, no, I looked it up, and I just had to look it up and realize, no, it's true. So then I just couldn't possibly justify it. How can I sleep at night knowing that I can choose otherwise? I can choose for none of these animals to happen to them, you know?
And I feel like an increasing number of evidence is starting to show up that these animals are so conscious.
They are, yeah.
And so present, just in a different way. And Darwinism said they all have a different nature.
Yeah.
But and then probably hence a different consciousness, but that consciousness isn't necessarily qualitatively
Exactly.
differently than humans. Yeah.
Very well put. It isn't necessarily qualitatively different than humans. Man, you should be vegan. I love how you're saying. Why aren't you vegan yet? You should be vegan.
Yeah, on the way there.
On
For
the way
example,
there.
milk totally, almost fully replaced by
Yeah.
Oatly and almonds,
Yeah.
soy, all of these things. But then there another moral dilemma comes, shoots at us with environmental
Yeah.
concerns. So you also have to watch out there.
Well, environmentally speaking, being vegan is better regardless. Like I would say, even if you were to take one avocado from South America, there was this calculation being done, and if you take one avocado from South America, fly it to UK, it would still have less of a footprint than a steak.
Ooh. Okay.
Because
one.
yeah, because you know, a lot of the times we forget that all these cows, they have to be fed a lot of food, and all that food uses a lot of space. And it, like most of deforestation that's done for food is done for animal agriculture.
Avocados have their own problems as well.
They have their own problems. I'm not here encouraging anybody to eat avocados. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, avocados and almonds, they have their own issues, and we should definitely look into those. I agree, but
There's this thing of 20 liters per avocado.
Yeah.
You know, there's this Netflix series where they say avocados are the green gold, and if you go over there, there's towns who ran completely dry as well.
but they're still monumentally better and use less water and less land than animal products.
Yeah.
Like including cheese and milk and such, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. If you then it's you're comparing the what you just mentioned, the carbon footprint
Yeah.
of the steak, but then that compared to destroying these lives of these farmers from running the wells dry, and also there was also gang
In-
fights
so
over that.
so there's a study. I would show it to you, but my phone is like recording now on YouTube.
It's
So
okay.
there's a study that says the carbon footprint of a vegan is a quarter of that of a meat eater, and they defined a heavy meat eater, and they defined a heavy meat eater as somebody who eats more than 100 grams per day. 100. I think that's everybody in this planet eats more than 100 grams of meat per day, maybe even per meal. So the carbon footprint was a quarter, and from a vegetarian it was half, right? So as a vegetarian, you're basically halving your carbon footprint, and if you're going vegan, you're halving that. So there's carbon footprint. There's also water usage, eutrophication, right? The biodiversity on all of these. They're all accounted for, and you can check them out also on the IPCC, the International Panel for Climate Change website. You can see all of these. I think they have a link to that study and even another study. But yeah, it is definitely better for the environment. So it shouldn't be a worry in that sense. Like even if, like I would say that anybody who cares about the environment should automatically be plant-based. They should be eating plant-based. But being vegan literally just means respecting animals, because maybe in some situations, although I also doubt that in other situations, like buying leather or stuff like that could be better for the environment, but I don't think that it is even in those situations.
Secondhand though.
Secondhand, yeah. I mean, I would argue also with secondhand. There's some issues there in today's world, because you're still perpetuating the idea of wearing somebody's skin is okay. But far be it from me to judge that. I'm here to stop the future exploitation of animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because we've been having this conversation for a while. How many more animals should be exploited for you before you make a change?
I hope as little as possible.
Yeah.
I really reduced it to, I think, just eggs. I still have some cheese in my fridge actually.
Yeah.
Eggs and Parmesan cheese, and maybe some Gouda cheese sometimes. And that's also just really rare. So I'm slowly taking. And so yeah, how many does it need?
But why did you go vegetarian?
Because I saw the killing as
horrible, right?
In itself,
That's
too much.
cruel. But did you know that, like, because I would argue that actually dairy products have way more cruelty behind them than meat. Because you know what, like all of the practices that are behind meat also happened in dairy products, right? Cows are forcefully impregnated to have babies because in order to produce milk, they have to be pregnant. And the only difference is that for dairy products, the same individual cow gets repeatedly impregnated every year, and when they can no longer impregnate them, they kill them. But they still have the same practices. They impregnate them, they take away their babies, they kill their babies, and they impregnate the babies if they're female. So the same thing happens every year for them. So it's in a sense, I would say, more cruel because they repeat it for each individual.
Have you read *Sapiens*?
Yeah, I have read *Sapiens*. It's a very good book a while ago, but yeah.
A good section on that in there, where he talks about how capitalism is the root for that.
Yeah.
Because it has this mix of greed and total indifference.
Yeah.
And he also goes ahead to argue that racism wasn't a thing that was, how does he really say it? That was constructed by humans because they had a genuine hate, because capitalism just wanted the land, wanted the products as cheap as possible, and had total indifference to it. It was just the money.
Yeah.
No, not caring about
Can you hold this for a
anything
second?
else. Absolutely. So where are you posting this?
Oh, it's on YouTube already. I don't
Is it
know, my
live?
battery. Yeah, it is
Oh, yeah,
live. Yeah,
shit,
I
is
see
it?
it live. Yeah, yeah. So my battery is kind of shit right now. Let me give you a card. Just hold this for a second. Okay. I'm almost out of cards. So here you go. Let me just tell you real quick. I heard you just watch. I don't know if you've seen What Animals Go Through. Watch Dominion.
Dominion, I know.
Yeah. Ah, you know Dominion. Okay. Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. You will definitely enjoy it. It's kind of what we've been discussing right now. But this is just a speech held by one guy from US. It's a really good speech.
That's AI generated?
Yeah, that's a AI generated photo. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, thank you, man. What's your name, by the way?
Chip.
Eric.
Eric, nice to meet you. Do you live here?
I do, and remember, I came, it was a week ago or something. I
Yeah.
came by with my parents.
Yeah.
And I said, I would love to talk to you. I was just on my bike. And
Yeah.
Then, but you know, time.
Yeah, I think I was gone afterwards. I think you're also my last conversation today, so that's okay.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah. Well, you have so many options here, right? Like here in the Netherlands, it's like I don't know. It's so. I found it so easy to go vegan here that for me it's like, it's not even. It doesn't even seem like a choice. It just seems like ridiculous to ever choose not to go vegan. You know. I understand if you like cheese, it can be a little bit more difficult to find the vegan cheese. But if you try the what's it called? In the vegan cheese section, there's a smoky one that is so good, and I don't know.
Vegan cheese section, smoky one. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Sounds like an insider information.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. There's a specific brand, not the Alberheim brand, another one. Yeah.
Lovely. And what are you gonna do after this?
I might have a debate with somebody or a conversation, and then yeah, I don't know. Work a little bit. I still have some work to do. So.
For this.
Well, not for this. I'm a software engineer, so I also need to do some work. Yeah.
Cool. But maybe one more thing. You said, what is it for you that wants you to stop? And it's the killing, but it's also the industrialization of it, which kind of takes a step back again from this. This is where I'm still confused, whether it's a moral thing or just a structural thing.
Yeah.
Of how the structure is set up, and industrialization was for me a big part.
Well,
the fact that
why?
it's so the roll band thing, that you see all these chickens being born and then.
Well, I can tell you why that is. So my theory is that the reason why so many people oppose factory farming or industrial farming of animals is because it shows us that it objectifies animals, right? These animals, when we see them on conveyor belts and all of this, we see them treated exactly like objects, and we know that they're not objects. So when we see that, it reminds us, holy shit, that's just wrong. We shouldn't be treating them like objects.
Mm-hmm.
But the sad reality is that whether they're on a conveyor belt or whether they're on a field on the grass, they're still treated like objects. Because all of these farmers, none of these animals have body autonomy. All of these farmers, they only give them space or whatever it is that they like, I don't know, more space or better food or any of it because consumers want it. They do it for the money. At the end of the day, they're still objects to them because they send them to slaughter, they forcefully impregnate them, they take their babies. All of this shit is, to me, exactly it. And you will even see like interviews of farmers saying, well, you shouldn't get attached to them. That's exactly it. Because so you have to farmers, because of the nature of their job, they have to treat them like objects. So while industrial farming reminds us of the objectification of animals, the reality is they're objectified throughout all of it.
Yeah. When you say objectification, I hear Marxism,
Yeah.
where it's the alienation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just a product in the end.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you don't connect a living being.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So factory farming reminds us of that, but yeah, sadly, it's all of it is that.
Yeah.
Because if you think from their perspective, in fact, there was a study done on 1,300 dairy farms in Germany, and was it? I don't know the exact number, but a lot of farms, at least 1,000 dairy farms in Germany, and it was the difference between small farms and large farms, and the well-being of those cows was extremely similar. While on small farms they had a little bit more time with the farmer and a little bit more space, on factory farms they had standard measures put in place. They didn't have people kicking them all of a sudden or not knowing. They had veterinarians on call. So you know, it's a back and forth. You know, like
Yeah.
you can kind of see it also that way. So if the well-being isn't really that much better, then even if a study says that, then I'm like, okay, well then maybe it isn't. You know?
Wow. Yeah. Interesting point.
Yeah.
That you would always logically think the small farm is beautiful.
Because it's more, we see it as more natural, and it reminds us as nature, and we think, oh, this animal is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think any animal needs to be enclosed in a bigger cage, where whenever the farmer says, it's your time to get killed, you know, like that's the whole thing.
Then I just want to ask you about one more thing.
Yeah.
Are you under pressure?
No. I keep looking back at my phone because my battery isn't always good, and just to be sure. Yeah.
Okay. I sometimes been thinking about an exception for all of this, which could be hunting. The bounty, the loot that you get from a hunt.
Yeah.
That was initially in place to balance the forest with our way of living right now.
Yeah.
And of course that would argue, well, if we...
It's in no way sustainable for everybody, right? Like there aren't enough wild animals to hunt for everybody to be able to eat meat. I think there was an article that said if you were to eat as much meat as we do now and we would be hunting it, in 1 week all of the animals would be gone. 1 week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's with the, how did you call them? The massive meat eaters?
Over 100 grams per day, yeah. But
those
like,
are just tigers.
I mean, and keep in mind that while this is insane, and 90 billion land animals per year and over 1 trillion sea creatures per year is what we use in animal agriculture every year worldwide.
1 trillion.
These numbers are insane, but keep in mind that these are not even the biggest numbers we can, because a lot of these countries that are developing countries are only now starting to eat more meat, are only now starting to consume more animal products. Before, like if you go to Asia, a lot of their diet consists of plant-based, like mostly plant-based. Western worlds, like Western Europe, let's say, eat a lot of meat, and only now they're starting to go back to plant-based, I guess. Well, they're not even starting to go back. It's just, I guess, from my perspective, because I'm a vegan and I'm surrounded by vegans, but like, I think in time it's on the growth because these countries are being more developed and they want to consume more animal products. So this number is already, while it is huge, it will sadly even go bigger. So
there's a bit of maybe cultural hegemony there, where the US leading with ideals,
yeah,
you know, eat with hot dogs, hamburgers, disperse that into other countries that otherwise.
Yeah, that's how we see it, right? We see it as a privilege to eat animals. We see, though, at least, you know, I come from Romania, and in Romania, when I was young, we would eat once or twice per week meat. So, and one of those times was fish, and one of the times was chicken or something like that. We would rarely eat animal products. That's how I grew up, like, as a young child. But nowadays, it's just like it is here, because I think we saw it, oh, look, the West eats a lot of meat. That must be how you get it. If you get more money, you must eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's good. And we always have to consider, again, the victims, the animals, because it's about them at the end of the day. You know?
Do you take any supplements?
I take B12, and I go to the gym, so I also take protein powder.
A bit of creatine.
Creatine, yes, of course. And
that's a thing that's usually in meat. But that
so
you don't get anywhere
creatine
else, right?
is available in red meat, indeed, but it's the amount of creatine that you can get from supplementing creatine if you were to eat the amount of red meat every day for that, you would be definitely unhealthy. So it's still easier to supplement creatine even if you are eating animal products.
Okay.
But your body synthesizes it. So if you eat enough protein, your body will synthesize creatine. But if you're like, I lift every day, you know, so like for me, I need some more supplements in that regard. I also take like DHA and like omega-3s, not because I need them, like I get everything from my nutrition, but I'm a very lazy person.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people who would rather take a multivitamin or a vitamin every day and just be done with it instead of focusing on my diet, at least these days. So.
And then the first thing that you asked me was the definition of veganism, and I was focusing on the nutritional side. And nutritionally, humans are there, right? With all the supplements, with a balanced vegetable diet, you could live.
We can thrive, yeah.
Yeah.
I would even say that it's better because your risk of cardiovascular disease is lower if you're going to eat less fat. Your health is generally going to increase because of eating more fiber, which is associated with the healthier outcomes, especially for your colon. And we're only nowadays learning more and more the relationship between our gut microbiome and our brain health. And it seems that they are linked somehow. And obviously, gut microbiome is monumentally improved by fiber and plants in general.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I would argue that yes, I even think that the teams, like the football teams that will eventually adopt a plant-based diet for their footballers, they will have an advantage over the others because they'll have more endurance. I think endurance is what you'll notice when you go plant-based.
You have to contact me for that, because then we'll place our bets.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion, by the way. Yeah, keep looking at it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Hey, it's been nice talking to you. You have that card, Eric, you said.
Yes.
Don't wait too long. That's my advice. Look into it and watch that speech. You'll enjoy it, and go vegan if you can. Animals need us more of us, and you seem like an intelligent guy.
Time is now, 100%.
Time is now.
Yeah. What's funny is also, you have the Rick and Morty hat.
Yeah.
I literally watched the last episode of season 7 yesterday.
Yeah.
With you remember the fear hole?
I don't remember. I've watched it a long time ago, so
Okay.
there's no new episodes now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you haven't seen the season 7, you have to watch it.
When did it appear?
I think that was a year ago.
Okay, I definitely saw it. I might need to rewatch it because some of the episodes I just like. Later episodes of Rick and Morty for me were more like, So I just put them in the background, some of them or something, and I didn't really watch them. So I might need to rewatch some of them. Yeah.
Some of them,
Yeah.
But episode 10, season 7.
Okay, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I'll watch it tonight, actually.
Alrighty, man.
All right. Cheers. You watch also that speech tonight.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Cheers, man.
Ciao.
Okay, that's it, everybody. That's it. Thank you, Chip. People are not better or more important than animals. Animal agriculture is destroying the earth. Yeah, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this last conversation. I'd like to have sometimes conversations with people like this where we just relax a little bit and talk a little bit more relaxed. And yeah, it's enjoyable, to have these kind of conversations. Hey, I hope you subscribe. I hope you have enjoyed the conversations that we've had today. Chip, can you show us your tattoo on your arm and explain why you got it? I know it's from a Voyager missing gold plate. Rest in peace, Carl Sagan. Nice. I don't want to take my jacket off right now, to be honest. But you know what? I'll do it for you. Just because you asked me. So my tattoo, I don't know if you can see it. I'll stay here, okay, so that you see it. So right here, this right here, this is the hyperfine transition of the hydrogen atom. Yes, it is from the Voyager plaque. So the hydrogen atom sometimes changes polarity or something like that. I don't remember exactly how to explain it. And when it does that, it emits a wavelength of 21 centimeters. And if you square that, this is a symbol for square that I tried to make, but the tattoo artist made it a little bit weird. And multiplied by this number in binary, see this is 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, and so on. This is gray, and this is also gray. It gives you the radius of this sun, or a planet. So it, approximately identical. If you multiplied all that, you get the radius of the sun. And then the third planet from the sun, you see 1, 2, 3. It's spinned around the sun by this number in binary, which is 27, I think, which is when I got the tattoo for my birthday. So that's the significance of my tattoo. My ex-girlfriend knew that I wanted to get a tattoo, and she got it for me as a present. So I was on the spot, and I thought, okay, well, I gotta get a tattoo on the spot. So that's what I did. Yeah, I think it's a cool one. It's always a cool story, but every time when somebody asks me, oh, what's the story about your tattoo? I'm like, oh, okay. How much time you've got? I always go like that. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I hope you're enjoying this kind of stuff. I don't know. I might be back again tomorrow, hopefully. I don't think there's anything holding me from coming back tomorrow. The weather might be even better tomorrow, so yeah. I hope if you're not vegan that you will consider going vegan and respect animals. You know, everybody deserves to not be exploited. If you are vegan, you know, I hope you speak up for animals. I hope you've had some conversations in this chat. Maybe after this closes, maybe talk to somebody in the comments and talk to them. Maybe go into a Discord server and have some conversations there. I don't know, whatever it is. Do something for the animals. Do at least one thing for the animals per day. That will always be good for everybody, you know? And if you are vegan and doing something, you're amazing, and thank you for doing all this. Oh yeah, some of my family members are going vegan this month for me. Hopefully the habit breaks completely for them. That's amazing, Moonrise Studios. That is something that I have not been able to succeed at, so congratulations, that's awesome. Anything else that I want to say? Well, nothing else. Thank you so much for all the moderators for taking care of the chat. I know it's not easy. Thank you so much for everybody who donated. It helps me, again, as I said, coming more and more. And anything else, I don't know. Let me know if you thought I should have tackled some conversations better. I really want to improve. I always want to get better. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay? No more animal exploitation. Everybody deserves freedom and no animals to be exploited. Okay? Everybody deserves this. Well, what we get, you know, everybody deserves to be considered, you know, everybody deserves to be considered. Everybody you will ask on the street, they'll think it's wrong to exploit humans. It should be wrong to exploit animals for the same reason, because everybody deserves this consideration, okay? So consider animals also, please. Don't disconsider them. They deserve it. Have a good one, everybody. Eric Kelly, have a good day, Chip. Thanks for all the info today and sharing your story with me. Eric Kelly, if you want to drop in the comments, have more questions, and drop them in the comments. We're all nice. We all want to help out. We all care about animals and all that. Okay, so you will notice that the vegan community is a very welcoming one. We're always here for you. Okay. Have an awesome day, everybody. See you in the next one. And yeah, subscribe. Don't forget about that.